you ready?
This is the D-Generation Clix podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruckman,
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gun wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
Best friends.
Asgard to mouth.
and Pete.
'Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation Clix podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, back from Origins, and with me as always are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, how was your Origins weekend?
It was pretty fun. I was able to watch the stream most of the weekend, and then I also got a 3D printer for my birthday, so I was tinkering with that, getting some designs made.
Oh, yeah, you've been going to town on that.
Yeah.
Dan, how was your Origins weekend?
I was unfortunately very tied up and not in the fun sense of the word, so I did not get to watch a lot of the streams. I had to watch them post-hand after they were already over, but really enjoyed the coverage.
I would not have taken you as a tied up type of guy.
I mean, hey, everybody's got their kink, right?
Speaking of kinks, Pete, how was your Origins weekend?
That sounds less exciting than Dan's. I had a good weekend. It was a bad heat wave here in the Midwest, so we were just trying to survive. 90-plus degree weather in Wisconsin is not normal, so we weren't a big fan of that. Being a fat guy, that was a little rough. But I really enjoyed the Origins coverage by Dial H, and by you too, actually, Redmond. You were at least adequate on stream. Adequate, we'll say.
Thanks, Pete.
You're welcome.
Yeah, last weekend we were in Columbus. We had a blast there. We'll be getting into all that shortly. Ollie's here too. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Pretty good, yeah. You caught up on all that sleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were going hard on those BRs, weren't you?
Yeah.
All right, well, we will dive into that in just a second. First, we do have a little bit of news. We want to send out a reminder that our Champion Clix Open is on Saturday, August 16th at 9:30 a.m. registration at Coliseum Games in Kenosha, Wisconsin. We can keep plugging this every week until we have it here, and the event page will be on our Facebook page as well. And also, Lantern Legacy release date got pushed back to August, which is unfortunate because it's looking pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sort of sad.
You're sad? Yeah, I know it looks exciting.
Yeah, it does. I've seen some of the pieces.
You've seen some of the pieces? What are you most excited for?
I think there's like a sound box or something.
You talking about one of the constructs?
Yeah.
A sound wave? Yeah, not the cool sound wave from 1980s that generates cassettes.
Cassettes?
Like Ravage.
Oh.
But a cool sound wave nonetheless.
And then also there's like a cool Blue Lantern Hal Jordan, I think.
Oh, you saw him? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some cool ones.
I think there's like a sword or something. Like
There is a sword too. You're excited for those constructs, it sounds like.
New version of a chainsaw. A sword.
All right, Pete, do we have a worthlessly light Bookwood report again this week?
Bookwood Report.
Hello, friends. It's time for the People's segment, the award-winning Bookwood Report. And I'm going to remove myself as a reporter for a little bit of a minute, and I'm going to tell you a story of overcoming setbacks and friendship. So this week, after a couple weeks of not doing much of anything, Bookwood did show back up. He got himself a War of Light Parallax, a War of Light Firestorm, a Batman Team-Up Fatality, and a War of Light Weaponer of Cord. And just when we thought he was done, Looper started to post his purchases. Looper came in pretty solid, and it was a Sherlock Holmes Iconics and a Mad Thinker Prime. And at the last second, Looper came through with a full set of Mandarin rings. And some people would say this is a competition. I don't think this is a competition. I think this is when two greats spur each other to moments of greatness. I'm saying Team Jumbo Package forever, because then after that, at the last second, Bookwood comes in with every single lantern battery. Great job, guys. Bookwood, Looper, I'm proud of you. Does anybody else have anything to add to this week's excellent Bookwood report?
I had
That's
to
pretty
miss.
definitive.
He sold selling that Black Lantern power battery for $100. I think was definitely the highlight. Surprised he was able to get 100 for that.
Trying to recoup a little
I'm
bit of
just-
those costs.
I'm just glad we don't have to change it to the golden something else, and it can still be the golden Bookwoods.
Yeah, 'cause it was real close. We were about to get the golden loopers.
Oh yeah.
We might even still have that.
All right, let's
can talk about
shift focus to Origins again. Ali, we are back. We had a blast. What did you think about it? What do you want to tell everybody?
So I placed 6th in BR champion.
On the leaderboard?
Yep.
I know that's with you playing a few games in Modern too, I think, right? Yeah.
And I was the only one who made it on the leaderboard and play modern.
Mm-hmm.
The other people just grinded battle rails.
Correct.
And I got so much. I had probably at least 6 boosters and a ton of LEs full.
What was some of the prizing that you won?
Titania. She's pretty cool.
You love Titania, the super rare
Yeah.
from Smash and Destroy.
Yeah.
I think you also, what did you trade Juggernaut for? One of your most wanted chases, I think.
Captain America.
Yep, you got a Captain America chase from Smash and Destroy for Juggernaut.
Yeah, it was cool.
And then you ended up with, I think, all the Con LEs, right? You got Kanto, Mantis,
Yeah.
Puck,
Yeah.
and who's the other one? Forbush Man? Yeah, you did a lot.
Mr. Dab.
Mr. Dab.
Love dabbing. I feel like he can be really competitive in this new set that will come when it comes out.
Because everyone's going to be playing DC.
Yeah.
And what is DC? Not Marvel.
Yeah, not Marvel. So if they're within 6 of Forbush Man, you get -1 attack and damage.
And we got to play a duos match with Calder and Alec, and that actually came into play quite a bit on your Black Adam, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did.
Sort of.
Sort of. What about any of your? Do you want to talk about any of your modern or any of the specific battle royale matches? We did stream one of them, and you came in first on that, didn't you?
Yes.
Do you want to tell any big moments that you had at any of your battle royales?
There was something. What was
A big moment that you had?
it? Yeah, I'm trying.
What was it?
What it was. That's right. I think I rolled like a 6 on super senses, and then right after I roll like a 6 or a 5 on super senses again.
So you were evading a lot of attacks?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Did you smash anything? I know you got to play Abomination Prime. What about that?
He was amazing.
He was amazing.
Just going in with +1 attack on brood and monsters.
Mm-hmm.
Just fully on smashing people.
Smashing
Charge
people.
flurry. Close combat expert. Battle fury. You don't get your shape change.
Mm-hmm.
Flurry. What was it? And then your brooder monster, I get +1 attack and damage. So could be like maybe like a 13, 14 for like 5, 6 damage.
So you were just smashing folks, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone brought a police officer over. I'm like,
Was he gone?
not a good idea. Just smashes his big hands.
Right in his face.
And I'm the only person that can knock back characters with Abomination. Only my team.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
All right, what about your modern team? How did that go?
It did not go the greatest.
No?
I played 3 games. Then I dropped.
Then you dropped. Did you get any cool plays with the Legacy Juggernaut that you played?
Yes.
What'd you do?
One shot came in while I was, and it's all Jor-El.
Nice. I know we set you up for some of the rollouts, taking those out, and you were able to deal, I think, up to 7 damage right in the beginning.
Up, yeah.
Yeah.
7 was my max.
7 was your max.
Max.
All right, is there anything else that you want to tell everybody before bedtime here?
No. I got so much. I had a lot of fun.
You had a lot of fun. I
Yeah.
know it was hard for you to say goodbye, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to next the most? We got monthly games. We got Champion Clix Open, the modern for that. We also have Worlds at the end of summer.
Yeah, there's a lot.
What are you looking forward to the most?
I don't know.
You don't know. There's too much, and it's all exciting. All right. Did you guys have any questions for Ali?
I don't have any questions. I just have a comment. I gotta watch Oliver on the Battle Royale stream, and if you're gonna go back and watch one stream from the weekend, watch this kid playing a Battle Royale with a bunch of people. It was wildly fun. He is a great competitor, and he's infectiously fun. And great job, Ali. You had a great weekend.
Thank you. Oh, and then the hour to Columbus was so long.
The hour try was supposed to be a 6-hour drive from
like
work,
6, like
and it
5.
was almost 8 on the way down there because Chicago traffic, and then it was supposed to be 6 on the way home, and that turned into 7, so it was rough.
It was so long. I was bored. I didn't have water for 2 hours because I had drunk it all.
Mm-hmm.
It was
I will add to the BR thing, though, that I had one of the judges come up to me and say that he said that Oliver said how something was supposed to work, and then the 3 other guys that he was playing with disagreed and said it worked a different way. So they called the judge, and guess who was right?
me.
Yeah. So yeah, he knows the rules really
Did your
well.
dad make sure to give you breakfast today?
Oh, we're not going to talk about breakfast. Did you eat breakfast and lunch and dinner every day?
Not breakfast.
Not breakfast.
I'll tell you
Yeah. Oh, it was just a late breakfast.
that. I really like
I was handing him a granola bar on camera, and he ran away from it.
Yeah, no, I saw.
I think everyone did.
Yeah, oh, it's too good. Yeah.
He had CliX to play.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't missing it. All right, well, I will send Ali to bed here. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Yep, and we'll have you on soon.
Yeah.
All right, what do you want to say to everyone?
I might be on for monthly recap, possibly.
Oh, was that what you would like to do?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
I'd
Okay.
like to.
Well, you better win then.
I'll try.
I always
got
try.
one
I like the
hit.
negotiation
I'm
here.
always playing ace. I'm playing ace.
I know you're playing Ace. You did
How
good at that
good-
robot Ace.
Yeah, ace was amazing. I
Mm-hmm.
think he was my MVP last robot.
I think he was. He stayed for a while, and he kept surprising Pete. Pete had to look at the card, I think, quite a few times.
Just adding tokens and tokens. +1 damage, +1 defense.
All right, bud. Well, we will say goodnight, and I will see you tomorrow, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Bye, Ollie.
I'll say bye to Pete.
Bye, Pete. Bye, everyone.
You have a good night.
Good night.
All right, let's get into the actual breakdown. So I think I already mentioned it, but yeah, Wednesday was a little bit of a rough drive. We left from work and then drove back to work on Monday, and it was supposed to be a 6-hour drive each way. And we got caught in Chicago traffic. I think it was 7 hours, or no, it was 8 hours on the way there almost, and then 7 hours on the way back. So yeah, it was a rough drive. But I do like getting there a day early and leaving the day after. It does make for a much more relaxed trip while you're there. Thursday was Silver. Did you guys get to check out many of the streams for Silver?
I was only able to watch a few because I was working pretty much the entire time it was on. So I haven't had a chance to go back to it.
I was rather indisposed, so I think I only caught 5 minutes of one of your games where you were on.
No, I caught quite a few of the Silver. It was really fun to watch Isaac play his team. And really interesting to watch him talk out his game and think through his game. I mean, just obviously probably the greatest player of all time at this point. I don't think there's a lot of argument with that. So I did catch a couple of his games. I'm trying to think of what else on the Silver stream really stuck out to me. That's the thing that comes right to the top of my mind. I'm just going back through the event here.
And we only had one stream going the whole day, so I think it was mostly Top Table that was on for Silver.
You guys did great with the internet problems.
That
you
was
guys were dealing with.
Oh yeah, it was
I did
not
get to
that
see
easy.
Lou with his rescue showing no mercy. And
that's
that was
right,
my
we did-
pick. And
we
Lou
did grab him.
Lou showed up. Yeah, Lou showed up. He got what, top 8?
Yeah, he did. Yep, 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a good showing.
So I ended up playing. I just threw together a mystical team with a bunch of the pieces that I've liked playing in the past and currently. So I ended up doing Arachnite with the Power Gem at 100 points. The Prime Blue Beetle at 75 with Cosmic Viewer. Ulysses Bloodstone with the Blood Axe. Felix Faust with the Spin and Zero Rings. My girl Madam Web with the Remaker Ring. the Black Shirt Porter, the Legacy Green Lantern with the Green Lantern ring, and then I threw Copycat on there as well. So what's that?
You've really got to work on your team names. Like, man, you're killing me.
This
boss.
one was weak. This is I just like I said, I threw this together. I made the team name at the beginning, and then I just was looking at all my favorite pieces and threw it on there. My modern team is a little better.
Fair. I got to deduct 5 points for that name. Like, oh,
All too better.
It was nice to see 29 people for silver. Unfortunately, we did have a person that took us up on the we build you a team thing, but they had some family issues, so they could not quite make it. I'm just clicking through teams. Nice to see Michael Donich.
Yeah. Like, I did like seeing that. Good job, Mike, pulling that out, getting fifth.
The craziest thing, just looking at the names, is Mater averaging in 6 games. What was it, like 60 or 65 points or something like that? That is just insane with how aggressive that team is.
With which one did he play in modern or silver? I mean,
4. He played with Kamo, and he had 385 points.
Yeah, that was wild. I was trying to understand how that. I'm gonna have to hit him up about that because to me that makes no sense.
It's crazy with how aggressive that team is. That it's only averaged 64 points a game out of 6 games.
where are you?
Because I know he
him?
does not slow play either. He's a very aggressive player, so that just does not seem on brand for Mater at all.
No.
Where are you?
There's some
seeing
great
this? I
team
think you're
names.
looking at modern.
Am I? Oh,
Is
is he
he
modern?
Oh
Yeah.
no, he didn't.
Oh,
play
modern.
That's
Never
right.
mind. Okay. Yeah, even that's still crazy. Okay, I clicked the wrong event.
We can go over the top 8 in just a minute here. I'm going to go over my day. So that's what I played. First round, I actually ended up going up against Joseph Harrison, who, spoiler alert, took second place. He played a Arachnite team as well, but he also had Hidari out, the universal weapon. He had Trick Arrows, Kazar with the long sword, Felix Faust with the spin ring, Madam Web with the cloak of levitation, Madam Xanadu, Scott Porter with the zero ring, black shirt, and then the legacy lantern with the green lantern ring. And
I think
that?
this is pretty close to what he played at H for H. There might have been a little bit of a swap out, but I'm pretty sure this is almost identical to that team.
I think it was too.
So I watched him play that team at H for H, and it was quite powerful.
There's a lot of staples that he had on for the previous year too, because that's where I actually met him. Was I believe it was silver for the year before that, and we met. And so he had like Arachnite, and I think he had Legacy Lantern. I think he was playing Ghost Rider again then also. Big thing with this game is this is one of the reasons that the sideline really needs to be looked at. But basically, he did cannon events right away, and so you can't even prob the attacker when they've already used cannon event until their next turn.
Oh, did he walk off a construct basically, and then cannon event or Arachnite for the alpha?
Yep. And
yeah,
then,
that's what he did. That's what he did against in a lot of his games. Was he did that same trick? So it was one of those where I didn't see it and I had to look at it.
And that's a huge reason why I am a pro barrel person, just because it can kind of stop some of that stuff from happening, and you got to work a lot harder to get that far. But basically, cannon event on Arachnite, and then it was rivalry right away. And then he did the trick arrow, and then basically just eliminated my whole support team with that. And what did he? I did cannon event. Right,
So
that might be it.
Flurry?
Yeah.
Did he flurry or did he just hypersonic?
It was a hypersonic, but it was with rivalry, so it just eliminated. He used the too dangerous arrow, so it eliminated a lot of my my support.
Did he self damage then? Because he's gonna hurt himself doing that.
What's that?
If he hits you from, did he close attack you or range attack you? I guess is what I'm also questioning.
I think it was probably a close.
Because then he should have damaged Arachnite.
No, so if it's done right, because I know in one of his games he actually triggers cannon event on his turn when he's going to attack, so that way he is not dealt any mystics or anything.
Yeah.
And no, it's not the mystics; it's the too dangerous itself.
Oh, he was on different elevations, so we weren't adjacent.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, because how is too dangerous worded?
Oh, so it was a range attack. He was in the next square, but it was a broken wall.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I'm trying to. Okay. Because the biggest thing is if you do it and you're adjacent to them, then he's gonna take 3 damage himself, and he can't. Cannon event won't save him. He'll just take 3. He'll just eat 3 damage.
Yeah, because it's not opposing then. So yeah, it would have had to have been a range attack because it was a different elevation, but it was a blown out wall.
Okay.
So I basically lost all my support, and then I just could not get across the map anymore. So it ended pretty handily to him, 15 to 400. I think the only points I scored were one shots. And then I played Gabriel Esquivel on round 2. He had a Punisher War Machine with the Power Gem, the Chase Captain America with Mjolnir. He had a crazy showing this weekend. Carnage Silver Surfer with the Avatar of Khonshu, Kevin with the Avatar of Towerette, Felix Faust with the Spin Ring, Lockjaw, the Legacy Lockjaw, Leech with Stones of Merlin, and then Daredevil with the Emotional Modifier, the Legacy, Weasel, and Timebreaker, the 5.1. And he took us to library, and we kind of just went back and forth. I was able to get some good outwits on him, and then I was kind of able to kind of pick apart his team. He did hit me pretty hard, though. I think I might have actually lost. Who was it? Oh, Blue Beetle I lost pretty fast.
I was gonna say with Punisher War Machine with the Power Gem, that's not a difficult feat.
Yeah, that's who he targeted, and he hit him pretty hard. So I lost him really early, and then I believe I also lost the Green Lantern Legacy guy pretty early too. So that made it a little bit harder to kind of maneuver, but I had some outwits with Ulysses and who's the other person? Faust? Yeah, Faust. He has it, right?
Yep, he's got it.
Yeah. So Faust and him. So I was able to kind of do what I needed to and clear out a couple people like Carnage Silver Surfer and the War Machine. So that one I was able to take 165 to 135. And then I played Howard Brock after that. He had a collector team, and I was able to kind of just go in, and I did something similar with the cannon event. So I did the Hypersonic in and his team and did a free boop. So he played the collector with the Destroyer armor, Power Gem, and Spectral Ring. He had Avatar of Khonshu on Carnage Silver Surfer, Sicarian Iron Man with the Cloak of Levitation, Cosmo with Nightbringer and Zero Ring, and then Venom Magneto. So I did the cannon events and then went in on Venom Magneto, got him, did the free boop on Cosmo, and finished him off. So then he only had Silver Surfer, Iron Man, and Collector left. And so he was not really able to hit me between rollouts and just defense and probs. So I won that one, 190 to
That's
170.
actually the interesting part is because like if I had to rank like the top 3 collector players, I'd probably put it at like Logan Prignano as 1, Howard at 2, and Aaron at 3. And so the fact that you're able to take out Howard, probably the second best collector player, I think that was great.
It just it changes it a lot in Silver.
I can't wait for this. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun.
What's that?
Oh, just the clap back. I can't wait for this.
So fun.
On what?
I just said that I ranked the collector players. Logan, Howard, and Aaron.
Oh, because Aaron's third.
I was like, did you just listen to what Miles just said?
That just checks out to me though, so that's totally fine. That's normal. That seems right.
Oh boy, this is gonna get real spicy real fast.
You might have actually ranked Aaron a little high, honestly.
Well, I'm trying to think of the other collector players.
There's got to be someone else above Aaron.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if someone's played collector like multiple times because Logan's been on that train. I know because like Ken Smalls plays it, and Ken Smalls is a great player, but
I don't think he played collector in Silver, did he? Because didn't he play in Silver, or am I wrong?
Ken wasn't even there.
No,
Logan.
Oh, no. There was not that many collectors.
No, I'm talking about Modern. He's been playing collector in Modern for quite a while.
Yeah, but he didn't play him in Modern, I don't think, this weekend.
He didn't, no.
Just off the top of my head, I know Nicholas Madison's played it too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Oh, I'll put
there
him
too.
above Aaron
So,
for sure. So Aaron's fourth
Yeah.
now.
yes.
They only did 3 rounds and then cut to top 16. So with points 2 and 1, I did go to top 16. And then I went against Michael Donick, who's one of the guys that is able to come see us a lot for our events. He played a Chase Captain America team with Mjolnir, Diana with the Hell Cycle, Kazar with Avatar of Gaia, Sakari and Iron Man with the Cloak. The Wonder Woman that... What's the best way to describe this Wonder Woman? She's one of the 3-pack ones, and she's the one with the giant reach 4 in cap, but still does normal damage.
Oh yeah. Oh, he played her. That's awesome. Okay, I did not realize he threw her on the team.
And then she had the +1 longsword, and then Apocalypse and Genesis with the soul swords, the sword bearer, and then White Shirt Porter with the universal weapon. So he actually got pretty aggressive pretty quick and went right to the middle, and then I tried to kind of stop him in the middle, and I headed to one of the sides, but he still was able to kind of sneak in with his Diana, and so we were hitting hard pretty quick. I forget how many turns we got, but they were a lot of rolling for both of us. So he ended up on points at the end, and it was 160 to 95. I was able to take out his, I think it was Wonder Woman and Diana. And maybe Captain... it was either Captain America... What did I have? 90 points? Yeah, so it was... I think it was Diana. It was either Diana or Wonder Woman. And then Scott Porter and maybe some equipment. So we had a lot of rolls. He had some rollouts with the Apocalypse swords also, since everybody had blades. He chose blades for Iron Man a few times also. But yeah, it was a good match. He went on then to take on... Who did he take on next? Do you guys have the rounds up?
Oh,
here it is.
For you or sorry. What
so
was
then
that? Was it you round 4 then, or were we round 3?
so this was round 5 now. So round 4 was
Round
top
5,
16.
they only have... I'm only seeing 4 for you.
Yeah, that was it, because I lost. It was
Okay,
top 16 was in round 4. And then top 8, he went on to take Caleb Reddick on.
Oh yeah. So it's him, but he lost to Caleb Reddick. So Caleb Reddick also played. Looks like X-Men swap. Yeah. So he had Carnage Silver Surfer with Lightning and Spectral, Sakari and Iron Man with Cloak, Sky Tyrant with the +1 longsword, Apoc Genesis with no swords, and then Venomags with Spin and Zero, and then the swap Professor X with Trick Arrows, Scott Porter with the Sinestro Ring, Commissioner with Red Wing, and then Copycat. And the sideline was the Legacy Ant-Man, Ares, House of X Bishop, the Colossal Dark Phoenix. Oddly enough, the Super Mr. Fantastic from what was that, Empire? Which he's actually pretty good at 30. And then Polaris from the Hellfire Gala. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Fantastic is really useful for taking terrain out of the equation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Either Miles or Pete, do you want to go over... John Michael DiGiulio went against Joseph Harrison, also in top 8. Do you want to go over their teams?
Yeah, so Joseph Harrison, who I think had a great strategy going into the silver event, because to get second place, like that was his strategy from the beginning, so it's cool that he was able to knock that out. But Joseph Gary Coleman Harrison, he had Vengeance for Ghost Rider because he's mad that Ghost Riders got banned. He's a mystical theme with Hadari out at 100 points with the universal weapon, Arachnite at 60 with Trick Arrow, AV60 Kazar with the longsword, Felix Faust with Spin, Madam Web with Cloak of Levitation, Prime Madam Xanadu, who is extremely good, Scott Porter with the Zero Ring, and then Green Lantern Legacy with the Green Lantern Ring. His sideline was the Canon Event, Fortified, Pin Particles, Rivalry, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, Collins, Scrappy Doo, and Mystery of the Strange Cube. And then his tarot cards, since he had Madame Xanadu, were Ace of Cups, Knight of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and the Hierophant. And I think it was a great call bringing in the Hierophant, because Madame Xanadu, you're able to roll whenever you would swap the tarot cards. So if he rolled a 4 through 6, then he would keep that Hierophant, and the Hierophant was huge because you can't modify or replace. So it was
I actually really like that strategy for especially against teams that just are built on all of the stat mods. Like I played that when it was modern legal.
Yeah,
and
Leopard. Black Leopard was a problem, like for a lot of teams. And like once that Hierophant hit, and like if you're able to keep that up, Black Leopard just becomes useless because you can't replace.
Well, his isn't a replacement, right? His is just a maximum.
It is a replacement.
Oh, is the maximum still a replacement? Okay.
Yeah, because it says they're how is it worded?
Oh yeah, it's how Leopard's worded. That's right.
Yeah.
You're right. Yep.
Yeah, which is because it's considered a replacement or something. It says the maximum attack, defense, and damage values of opposing characters, but like I believe that is tied into a replacement for how it works.
And then John played pretty much the same team, I think, from H4H, didn't he?
I believe so.
Looks like it. Yeah, it really does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is like pound for pound the same team.
But I think I don't remember this match that Joe went into Hidari instead, but he was able to take John pretty handily too at 260, 235. The other top 8 match was Steve Bombera versus Matt Esbrook. Do you want to go over that one, Pete?
I do. Lou with a nice showing. He played a scientist theme with a great team name of Lube Me Naughty. He had Rescue with the Trick Arrows, Spot with the Cloak of Levitation. He had Captain Marvel the Prime with the Chameleon Flute. He had the other Spot from SVC with the Crimson Gem, Mr. Oz with the Angler, Nathaniel Richards with the Sinestro Core Ring, Scott Porter, Black Shirt with the Zero Mandarin Ring, and Copycat. His sideline was Cannon Event, Fortify, Pim Particles, Black Vulcan, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, Mimic, Scrappy Doo, and great showing, Lou. I really enjoyed actually seeing the team in person on the stream.
Oh, it's good, isn't it? Now you've seen how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, getting that Trident, like I think that was a really underrated call too, because like not that came in one of the play at home kits, and it gives you Giant Reach 3, and anyone can use it since it's just an object. So I think that was a great call.
And then what about Matt Esbrook's team?
So he played an unthemed team. He started with Emma Frost from the. Actually, this is the Chase from what is that? Dark Phoenix Saga, which I actually thought she was pretty solid when she came out. She was overlooked. Then he played the Space Leo with the Crimson Gem. I'm assuming a lot of people caught that off guard with that piece. And then Black Leopard, which let's see. So and he had the Destroyer armor on him, and then it was the new John Constantine with the Cloak of Levitation. Then Beezer McTakalok with the Influence Ring, and then the is that the starter set Watcher technically, right?
Yeah.
And then I had Captain Carter's Shield, and then lastly it was Black Shirt Porter, and sideline was just Fortify Ares Mimic. That's pretty good for not a lot of sideline. So yeah, this team is interesting. It's very much a defensive shell though, very much so.
Yeah, I'm banking on getting all those equipment from Silver with Leo.
Yeah. Yep.
And then he was leaning into the high defense too. I got to watch his game against Isaac. And then the other match in top 8 was Isaac had to play Ed. Ed played Wakanda Hulkbuster, and then the Spot with the Cloak of Levitation, Carnage Silver Surfer with the Darkhold, Sakarian Iron Man with the Longsword, Felix Faust with the Spin Ring, Leech with the Angler, Skinny Steve Rogers, and a Time Breaker at 5 points. As soon as they called time, though, Ed conceded to Isaac, so they didn't actually play out the match. Isaac's team was Swamp Thing, just the A side with Influence, Carnage Silver Surfer with the Black Symbiote, Sakarian Iron Man with the Cloak of Levitation, Apocalypse with the Longsword, the +1 Longsword, the prize one, and then prize Genesis with nothing. Elsa Bloodstone, the Prime with Trick Arrows, the Professor X for the Swap, the Black Shirt Porter with Spin and Zero, a Legacy Daredevil with Destroyer Armor, a Phoenix Pog, and then a Friends of Humanity for 5 points. So then round 6 was Caleb versus Joe, and I think Joe hit pretty hard. Similar thing with the Cannon event rivalry on his team to take out Caleb 400 to 35. And then the game that I did see that was on stream was Isaac versus Matt Esbrook, and Matt kind of just took I forget what he took off of Isaac, but he was able to get I think 3 different items. He did not get the cloak off of Saki. I think he got the symbiote, the influence ring off of Swamp Thing, the symbiote off Black Surfer, and then maybe the destroyer armor off Daredevil. I think he got 3 items though. So he was able to go up on points, and then he tried to set up for the defensive shell. And then the final was Isaac versus Joe Harrison, and Isaac ended up taking that one. Pretty close game though. Ended up.
It was. I didn't even know who won until the end.
Yeah.
It's literally a 10-point difference. That's not much.
And it was the difference ended up being the 2 one shots from Joe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because the final score was 195 Isaac to 185 Joe. So it was a good game, real close on that final one. So Joe taking second, and Isaac winning the event. So congrats to both of them.
Yep.
Congrats.
Then we have Friday was next. So this was the Team Sealed. They did something really cool this year, or I guess with this Team Sealed event, where you actually got to open up a chase booster from a different set with your Smash and Destroy brick. So everybody got a chase booster of Deadpool Weapon X, and they opened that to build teams with a brick of Smash and Destroy. So that's something I definitely hope that they continue with the Team Sealed, because that was really cool. Kind of helps you mitigate a weaker brick.
That's the premium one, right? Is that what you're talking about?
No, they did those separately, and then there was premium battle royales that also added it. This is just what Team Sealed was this event. You just got one.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and Joe, Joe ended up taking it. So yeah, he's been in the finals for 2 straight events already.
Yeah, Joe teamed up with Alex Mater and John Michael DiGiulio.
That's quite the team.
Yeah.
Second place was Jalen Major, Patrick Frazier, and Nate White. Third place was Isaac, Ed, and Clay Wood. And then fourth was Ryan Knotson and Caleb Reddick. I think let's see, they got the Captain America brick. The first place guys, Joe and John and Alex, got the Captain America. What was it? Captain America.
Chase Absorbing Man.
Chase Absorbing Man. It looks like their chase from their chase booster was King Deadpool and Elsa, which is an amazing one to pull still, even without the Jeff or anything like that. And then Prime Red Harpy is the other piece. It looks like they got a Rhino also. So yeah, they had a crazy brick. Similar to them was that fourth place team, because they got Phoenix Wolverine in theirs, so they were definitely just tearing people up. Az got to play the Phoenix Wolverine.
With Destroyer armor.
With Destroyer armor, yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was cool to see him, because I didn't think that he'd be all healed up enough. So it was cool to see him hear that he was able to make it.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise. He didn't really tell anybody, because he was not planning on going, so he just kind of showed up there.
Yeah.
So that was silver. Do you guys have any questions on the Friday event? Pretty regular Team Seal. Just that was cool. They did a chase booster.
Yeah, no, just seeing the chase boosters come into play, because I was watching Alex Mater's team, and Sheriff Deadpool with Destroyer is just hilarious, especially in sealed. That's just awesome, and that's definitely something I would play. So it's real cool to see the chase boosters of Deadpool Weapon X actually being good chase boosters to go with that brick.
Mm-hmm.
Those bricks. So
I mean, and even then, if you pull a weasel or a time breaker, you're still getting something out of it, which is nice too.
Exactly, yeah.
I think this is just a great way to run these kind of events. If you're going to do this, I hope they continue to do the Team Sealed with the chase boosters.
And everybody
Oh, yeah.
knows that, there's the bricks are typically, if you pull this, you pull this and this, right? So for this event, giving that extra little, at least there's another team that's built with a different chase type thing or super rare is cool.
Because even if you pull like Colossus Prime out of your chase booster, that's a great 80 points to throw on a team.
Oh yeah, you start one of your teams right there. Let's go to Friday. So Friday was 300 Modern, the Nationals event. So this is the other event that I played in when I was there. So I played Get Poisoned Spot Edition. So it was Spot with the motorcycle, and that was a change that I made after we just did one practice night. Definitely should have kept him with the Hell Cycle, but took him off of Hypersonic and did the Sidestep Poison. I just really didn't get a chance to play that much, so I was kind of even learning Spot on the fly when I was playing this event. I kept messing his, what trait or special power did what. And then it was the Mysterio chase, the Sandman chase, Chair Panther with the longsword because you have to play him, Prime, Elsa Bloodstone with the trick arrows, Perdegaton, Zenzi, Daredevil with destroyer armor, and then the Timebreaker for 5 points. Sidelines Cannon Event, Fortify Rivalry, Beetlejuice, Cathan, and the Mimic.
So after playing this team, what do you think is actually the bigger problem of the team? Do you think it's Spot or do you think it's Sandman?
Honestly, it's just what I like about the team is that it just together is very strong. I don't think Sandman is necessarily a problem because you're paying 50 points and he's really not doing anything unless you're up in his face, right? He's got
potentially, yeah. I mean, you can give him the 12 attack with Mysterio, but yeah, they have to still be up close for sure, yeah.
And it's 2 damage, right? And you still have to hit.
Yeah, the smoke shot is 3, being able to destroy things. He does that, but no, it's just with just making poison unavoidable.
Oh yeah, I think it's not as big of a deal.
I think it's Spot. I think realistically, that second part of that speed power just shouldn't exist. I don't think that he should be placing anyone because he's already, can attack from full map. It's bringing that yo-yo in is, and I played the yo-yo before it really was a thing because it really wasn't easy to pull off. Like I had the Liar Ring on Black Manta, but you had to actually sink in order to get that to work, and it was disgusting. But Black Manta by no means is anywhere near the level of Spot's just oppressiveness of just being able to hit people from all the way across the map, regardless and placing them. So having played Spot, I think that's the main thing that I think is the main problem. I think for 55 points, I just think bringing overhit characters is just ridiculous, especially with his keywords and having rivalry. But that rivalry is a totally different argument as well.
Yeah, because he is Sinister Syndicate, and you're playing him on theme then with, or not on theme, but with those other characters that get it. It is pretty strong. I think, when you're able to attack from across the map and then also bring somebody back for the gimmick of Sandman, that might be a lot.
Well, yeah, because you also have Mysterio, and you're able to bring all those clones. So I think maximum, let's say
it's 5 poison damage, something like that.
3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, never mind, because Daredevil doesn't have it. But yeah, so 5 poisons. Because you have Spot, if you have him on the sidestep click.
Yeah, which I did not do. I should have done that. The
Yeah,
Daredevil has it. Daredevil has it. So
yeah,
if you can outwit the defense, though, that's still another poison that you just get through.
Yeah,
that happened a lot.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's right, because he doesn't have the keyword, so he's not getting the poison damage.
And then what I do is when the Mysterio clones get KO'd, I'll bring in the spider bots.
Yes.
And then the spider bots also have poison, but they're not named Mysterio. So once all Mysterios are gone, you can bring in the Mysterios again. So then you have more. So that was, I went over the whole team, right? Yeah. All right, so my first round was against Trent Morello, who I played in, I think, either top 16 or, it's top 16 at Champion Clix Open. And it was a pretty similar team with the double Captain Marvel on the motorcycle with Kevin and Avatar of Towerette. So I played that against that team a few times, and so a little different tactics.
this year, right? I want to say since Champion Clix Open, like there has not been an event where you've played at least one, if not two, of these teams.
Yeah, I missed H for H, so I'm not sure if anyone played it there, but I did play it at Champion Clix. I played it at Adepticon, against it at Adepticon, and then I played it here too. So yeah, that's a good point. I've played this team against this team a few times.
Twice.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's why you do so well against it now, because you've had so much practice with it. You're like, I know how to pick this apart.
It was a little bit of a different strategy, just because the team that I played now versus then is a little different. Before it was like try to trick arrow, get the nth metal on there, and just outwit them. This one was more give them Battle Fury with Zenzi, and then just kind of hope I hit with either Precision Strike or I just hope. And then I was able to poison a couple of them. So
I was gonna say, once you get him over to you, though, oh god, like just poison, basically just dead.
Yeah, so I was able to. He went in quick because he knew the gimmick, so he came in at me, and so it was a tight game for the very beginning. But once I was able to kind of hit one, and taking Kevin off the map is a big help too. Even if it's just for the rest of the turn. But yeah, I was able to take one out and then the other. And so I took this one 330 because once one fell, the other one fell pretty soon after that. And then I took on Denny. So Denny played a camo team. It was camo with Bucky's arm, Chase Captain America with Mjolnir, Flash Raptor, Timebreaker, the Pog, Philovel Pog, and then the Phoenix Pog. And so his whole team worked off of bringing Captain America over with Flash Raptor into the Colosseum. And so when we played at Adepticon, he did something similar with camo, and then he cannon evented with camo. So I took cannon event off with my Chair Panther and Beetlejuice. And he kept camo away. I don't even think he actually came in with camo at all. He carried Flash Raptor up with the Chase Captain America, and then he was able to get a free flurry off. And I don't remember if it was the first or second. It was the second attack, that's right, that the Mysterios turn off the improved movement. And things had already kind of changed by the second attack, so he wouldn't have been able to see the Chair Panther because his Flash Raptor hit.
Targeting.
Yeah, the improved targeting.
His giant reach didn't work, yeah.
So the giant reach.
So you couldn't have giant reached, yeah.
Yeah, because it went through, and I know I was thinking about it with my other guys, and then when I was thinking about it with my other guys, I realized that he couldn't have also seen through Daredevil to attack the Chair Panther, and that's what killed him. So I said, we don't have to run it back, it's fine. And I lost Chair Panther, and then he brought in Beetlejuice, and then I couldn't do anything back to him after that. So and then time was called, so he ended up taking that one, 120 to 45. I'm very surprised that not many people are still playing Flash Raptor and trying stuff like that, but this combo of Captain America with Flash Raptor is really good.
Yeah, because you diabolic the bargain, you do the one unavoidable, and then Flash Raptor just yoinks him over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you put the arena marker towards them, like they either have to be aggressive to not get the Captain America to do his free flurry, obviously without juice on the main force, or just say, okay, I guess I'm just going to be getting attacked forever.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you have Flash Raptor that's able to do is free Quake, and then you're able to, if you have the arena marker, you're also able to get essentially 4 attacks in with Captain America.
Yeah.
You're only getting the one, because if you're diabolical bargaining him, he doesn't have any way to heal. So yeah, but you only have regular for you don't have the speed power then.
Oh no, he doesn't have any way to heal. Okay. Yeah.
At least not that I can see.
No, he doesn't have a.
No. I was just thinking that he'd be able to heal, but yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, he can't heal.
So I was gonna say, yeah, you can get him over there where he can flurry and is a 12 for 3, which is great. But I don't. Yeah, otherwise he's not really doing the whole.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was thinking, I thought he was heal because that's one thing that I was looking at too is get the diabolic a way to get him to heal because now you're able to get 4 attacks in. But yeah, even if you're just able to get those 2 attacks in, that's totally fine.
Yeah, because you're still attacking with Flash Raptor too, right? I mean, because you're just hypersonic and trying to hit, and then maybe even Quake then too on top of it.
Yeah, I got Quake also.
Philovel is, I think, after seeing her play, like she's extremely good, like that as that pulse wave prob.
Yeah, he brought her up to get the pulse wave, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. I feel like he did something with that too. I don't remember though.
The team ability.
What? Yeah, I think I thought he maybe did that on somebody, but yeah, the Pulse Wave I think came into play as well. Did a running shot Pulse Wave first with her to get her into play.
It just means they can't be modified. It doesn't. It's not like the Outsiders.
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out what, because he doesn't have like wildcard to copy it, so I was trying to figure out where that was coming from.
Well, he ran in with Phylavel first to do a Pulse Wave, and then did the Hypersonic with Flash Raptor, and then quaked and brought in Captain America at the same time, and then was able to do the Flurry.
Oh, okay. So he Timebreaker and then TK is what I'm guessing, and then okay,
Right. And then did the running shot in there. So
okay.
So I was 1-1 going into round 3. Round 3, I played Keo Malathong. So he had a neat team. It was the Prime Colossus with Destroyer armor, so that was going to be hard to hit. Hadari out with the Hell Cycle, and then he also had a Major Logan with Bucky's arm, Madam Web, the Legacy with Avatar of Khonshu, and then Perdegaton with the Avatar of Towerette and a 5-point Timebreaker. The cool interaction with Perdegaton and Madam Web, this is probably one of the coolest things I saw all weekend, but he has Chthon on Madam Web, and Madam Web has something where every time you click the dial onto this power, she gets to roll a d6 and place it on the card. So one of the ways to trigger that, he puts her on the click 7 and then does the free, what is it, just move to the other click number or something, or you place her?
Yeah, you place her up 2 squares away from, and then you turn her dial to the next starting line.
I'm assuming you move her, and then she gets the second die, so she goes,
So what he does first, he does that. He gets a die because he goes to click 10. Then he takes a move action and goes to click 11 because of Chthon, and then uses the support off Perdegaton to heal back to click 10 and get a third die.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. So
he has 3.
It's hilarious.
Oh, that's wild. Okay.
And then someone else was telling me too, which makes sense. You can drop her off elevated to. Well, actually, she's got toughness on the click 10 though, so I don't know how that would work.
That wouldn't work.
But getting 3 of the d6s was cool. So he had Perdegaton and Madam Web at the end. His big mistake though was he left Major Logan a little bit too close to me, so I was able to outwit his combat reflexes with Spot, and then bring him over for the poison pits. And then I just one at a time. I think I did it to Colossus next, and then Hadari.
I was gonna say the poison pits. You're starting to sound like somebody else.
Well, you know what? It happens. I went there. I didn't have time to practice, and I knew it was good, so I made the switch from Swarm to Spot and played it, and I think I did fine. But I still think it's an issue potentially with Spot.
Yeah.
Then so it's 2-1 now, and then I played Max. So Max played Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hulk with the Crimson Gem, Prime Red Harpy with the long sword, and then the Doctor Doom Chase with the Universal Weapon. So this one was a little bit more challenging. Doctor Doom Chase is really good. I definitely did not see it before when we were previewing it and talking about it when Collector's Trove first came out, but being able to use a one-shot and target through those Doombots is pretty crazy because he's got the universal weapon. So I think he chose Pulse Wave at least once, Energy Explosion at least once, and he was able to kind of hit that. So I was having a hard time deciding on how to attack, but then he brought in Spirit of Vengeance, I think the turn before I had my plan moved out, so I'm sure he saw that coming. And then I did not count the clicks that he had, and I actually did a poison with one of the mini bots, the mini spider bots or whatever, before I should have, because when I hit with Spot, I was able to trigger his first stop click, so he brought out Beholder, and so that ended the turn. Yeah,
your turn just stopped. Yep.
So if I wouldn't have poisoned, then I could move him without that happening, because I already had my big plan, because I thought I was going to come across a few more of these. My big plan for it was to basically make sure that every adjacent square was occupied.
Mm-hmm. So you couldn't generate,
yeah. So I had that all set up to be able to do that, and so I should have looked at the card, because obviously that would have changed, and I wouldn't have set it off. So his he brought out Beholder, and then his next turn, I still placed him though, like next to where I placed him where I wanted to, so he was still surrounded. But then Beholder ended up taking out my Mysterio and.
Oh man, that running shot click, yeah, it's still pretty good. Even on that last click, that's really solid.
I think it was Mysterio and maybe a Mysterio goon. And then, so that was like towards the end of the match. And then I had everything set up for all of
It was
the...
Mysterio and Daredevil.
Daredevil, okay, yeah. So I know it was a few points. And then I was able to surround him, and then I poisoned him all the way to his last click, and then I had it all set up for a free flurry from Spot, costed flurry from Spot, a free attack from what's her name, Prime Elsa, and and then a regular attack, and he wanted to make sure, he wanted to make sure that the that you couldn't place on the destroyer armor, and so that he couldn't place one of his pilots on the destroyer armor. And so when he was reading the card, the time got called. So that one was a little bit rough, and he ended up then winning 85-10, which Spirit of Vengeance was then worth 125. So that would have put me over there. So, but it was a fun game, and he was a fun opponent. So I'm not gonna call the judge and try to walk anything back or whatever. Push forward.
No, it was something like that though. Like I talked to you a little bit about it. Like I think it's totally fine that you're like, all right, we're into poison, and then I'm gonna free flurry, and then let them do that just so you have that action, because there was like 2.5 minutes from after you went when your turn started before last action was called.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, that's how long that entire thing happened with the poison. And to look for the placement of to be placed on top of the destroyer.
Okay, yeah, because I know I had it all set up to go. I had 6 attacks I said, so I was confident I was going to be able to end it there. But,
I completely understand that. If you just went poison, flurry, like okay, that's something. But like I said, there was plenty of time to resolve those 3 poisons, and then also flurry. Like I said, there was 2.5 minutes between your first poison and last action.
Yeah, because he didn't even have any damage powers that were really like defensive. Like he doesn't have shape change because he has Phoenix, Wolverine, and Beholder on his sideline. So he didn't have any like actual real defensive powers on his style for that. He just had the invuln. So you just have to hit him.
Yeah, and then with Sandman, then it won't be reduced at all. So it
no.
It was looking good, but it did not play out then. So, but it was a fun game, and it's cool to see just different teams like this getting played. I think the only real issue with Spirit of Vengeance is just being able to have multiple pilots be the same, and I really think that's
people that like want him to be nerfed, I don't think so. I think it's really cool that they're. Because he wasn't playable, his original version. And I really like this. I know people are trying to say he needs 2 pilots. I'm like, no, the entire point is their circle of 4. Like, that's exactly like what it's supposed to be. Yeah. And I think 4 pilots with different names, I think is better than having 4, like you can't choose the same characters. I think just 4 different names would be a lot better for it. And I think it's a very easy errata that doesn't really mess up anything. And I still think he's still top tier.
Oh, yeah.
That's more of and that's a pilot fix, because that should work with anybody that can pick multiple pilots. Like Destroyer shouldn't be able to do the same thing. Like you shouldn't be able to pick.
It should just be And we've seen a few fixes to the pilot trait because it is a new interaction, and so there's going to be some bugs throughout. And then I think this is the first set when you can have multiple pilots. So yeah.
And
his keywords are great.
Oh yeah. It's really hard picking pilots from what is it, like mystical monster animal brute soldier. Real rough.
Oh yeah.
No, he's a cool piece. I like him. So it was a cool team. We had a good game. Then I was 2-2 going into round 5. I played Ryan Knotson and his Caps Kooky Avengers. So it was Caveman Wally West, the +1 longsword, Zala Jarrell with the Crimson Gem, Prime Reverse Flash with Bucky's arm, Vigilante with the Trick Arrows, the Captain America from Cookie Quartet with Mjolnir with the team-up card, Scarlet Witch, and then from the Cookie Quartet, Copycat, Zenzi, Phoenix, and Timebreaker. So I was able to, I think I pulled Map, and we all put we went to Brock's Bunker, and we all put all of our, our terrain in the middle. So we kind of blocked each other off pretty hard, and that was obviously a really big benefit for me. So he left his Caveman Wally West open, and so I was able to grab Caveman Wally West and take him out pretty early. And then I think everything else was just like pretty pushed back. He wasn't able to bring Zala over. He wasn't able to bring Reverse Flash over. Vigilante, no one could make it. So yeah, it was a hard game, I think, for him to make it back over, and especially after I took out Caveman Wally West. So I ended up taking that one 205 to 35, and then they cut to only top 16, I think, right? Yeah, they cut top 16, so I did not have enough points to continue. Do you guys want to just go over the top 18 teams real quick? Someone want to take... top 8 teams, yeah. So someone want to take match 4?
Yeah, so in match 4 for top 16, we had Isaac against Austin, my favorite dinosaur, Plamodon. So Isaac has Vin Juice 2, Return of the Juice with extra ice. He won 300-0. But his team consists of the Legacy Spirit of Vengeance with the free longsword, Beetlejuice with Destroyer, Kong with Gaia. So he switched this up instead of having Death Metal Wonder Woman from that last event. And then Phoenix Pog. His sideline was Chthon, Gaia, and 4 Thanoses. So I think... Yeah. Chthon on Spirit of Vengeance is a great way to trigger those. Like, even if he can't heal, like, you're bringing these just disgusting Thanoses on their last click that have every power. So they're 20 defense with ESD, Outwit, Prob, Shape Change, Energy Explosion, Precision Strike, Invincible, Steel Energy. Yeah, it's just... Plus, he also has he's a 12, 14, 26 with improved targeting, destroy blocking, and hindering, and then edge out of adjacency. So he's just a nasty attacker, just by himself. And so,
don't forget he has the reap trait, and a lot of things are under 30 points.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, the reap trait. Yeah, so
easily rack up points.
Yeah. So yeah, so it's a great way. So if you have Chair Panther shutting off Chthon, like, he still gets a +1, but at least he's not going to take that unavoidable, so you can fix that up a little bit. And then Austin, who Desperate Avenging. Despero made top 16. See, Austin, you get top 16 when you don't play Kryptonian. So just stop. This is definitely a Cryptonaut team because there's not a single Kryptonian. But he has Caveman Wally West with the long sword.
There's one.
I guess there is one. Okay, there is one, but it's a Cryptonaut team because it's not Kryptonian theme. It's Caveman Wally West with the longsword, Despero, Zala Jor-El with a tomb, Reverse Flash with Trick Arrow, team up Cap with Mjolnir, and the Kooky Quicksilver and Kooky Witch and Perdegaton. And his sideline was Rivalry, Ares, Atum, Mimic, and Poseidon. And I guess this game actually came down to him not able to hit a 7. And that's usually how it goes. And that's the one bad thing about Zala, is that if you miss, then it's really hard to come back from that.
That's why I wouldn't want a tomb on her then, because you're risking the miss. She's just going to be even easier to kill. Like, that's rough.
Yeah, but you're going for the Atum, so that way you don't need a TK, or you can just hypersonic stick range. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
So,
I'll give you that.
There's that. So that way you don't need to waste a TK. So then she's also doing penetrating damage too. So there is a little bit of that, and so yeah, you're going all in on that. And she does gain the Avengers keyword, so maybe in some world you'll be able to use Rivalry. Hoping.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Warrior's pretty common too.
It's a copy or a popular team though, so a lot of people probably have that Avengers through past as well. People are playing Kooky Quartet Captain America a lot.
Oh yeah, he's.
Oh yeah, there's Cosmic and Warrior, so like those are really like common keywords. So.
And then
so
you said he won Isaac won 300-0 on that one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Dan, do you want to take match 2?
Sure. We have Denny versus Brody. Oh.
Kitchen table matchup.
I need Denny to to message us because I'm trying to do the math and I have no idea.
I'm trying to figure out how this works
300.
too. What? So it was 300,
295. I don't understand how that happened.
I didn't get a chance to ask, but it's got to be hard because, when you play as a family, you're always practicing against each other. So having to have that matchup was probably really rough.
So Brody played something different because he's been playing plants for a while and he's switched up. But he's doing the poison pit strat too. So now he's got Prime Swamp Thing with Khonshu, Spot with the Hell Cycle, Mysterio at 50, Sandman at 50, and then Chair Panther with a Tomb and Prodegaton. Sideline was Ares at Tomb, Juice, Khonshu, Mimic, and Treasure Chest. He also had the Nifty Barrel because he knows that from playing plants that the barrel is good. So, and then I think we went over Denny's team, right, with Kamo. So I'm just really curious how we got to 295 to 300. I don't understand how the math.
There had to have been tons of timebreakers KO'd because you look at his team because what? So Denny's main force is 285.
Yeah. So I'm very confused as to how that works. So.
Dude, that's an intense game. 300 to 295. That's like you're sweating at the end, counting points and recounting points 3 times.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great game.
I was gonna say because Brody doesn't have. Well, he lost, so he got basically wiped. I was gonna say, how did he survive? Because he was 295. Was he? He wasn't underbuilt, so I'm trying to figure out how he. Oh. Yeah, it doesn't make sense because he should have been 300 then, right? Yeah, because if he got full wiped, he should have been the full 300 points there.
Yeah, I don't know. How
but anyway, that's a tough match. But Denny pulled it out.
Yeah.
All right, and then
it's the second father-son
top
cut match because Silver had Ed and Isaac, and this had Denny and Brody.
Yeah.
Pete, do you
at least they played it out though.
Match 3.
But yeah, that's.
I do. We have one of the first 2 of the member of the Flying Pragnanos. We got Ricky Pragnano with the Bad Boys team. He unfortunately lost 150 to 85 to Adam Friedman. We'll go over Ricky's teams first. Ricky had Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk with the Crimson Gem, Ghost Rider, 048, you know him, you love him, Dream Ruby, Kevin, Perdegaton, the Chitari Pog, and the Timebreaker. And then on his sideline, he had Beholder, Juice, Cathan, Thanos, and Deadpool Weapon X Wolverine 060. He did not have a barrel though, and he had he ended up losing to Adam Friedman, who Adam Friedman's team name was Mastical. And Adam Friedman played Main Force Juice with the Hell Cycle, Morlun with the Avatar Gaia, and Dual Kong. Yeah. Sideline was Canon Event, Cathan, Gaia, Mimic, and Reverse Flash. And I do not see a barrel on that one either, but congratulations to Adam.
Then match 4. Do you want to go over that one, Miles?
Yeah, and then match 4 we had Alex Mater going against Logan, and Mater. This is the one that really surprised me because it was the average of 61 points a game.
Yeah,
and it's aggressive
for this team.
Yeah, it's unthemed, but it's camo with the motorcycle, Death Metal Wonder Woman with the long sword, Cyborg Superman with Trick Arrow, Justice League Fulcrum Abominus, Perdegaton Phoenix Pog, and he has Diabolical Bargain, Rivalry, Canon Event, Ares, Juice, and Zeus, and the barrel. But I really like it because Diabolical Bargain is going to get him to trigger Cyborg Superman. So, yeah, Panther could shut that down, but then you're leaving Canon Event or Rivalry. So I think it's really good that, he went with the 3 one-shots saying, okay, I'm going to get one of these 3 one-shots. So pick your poison. But yeah, it's his point total is just insane for getting to 4-1 in Swiss. I'm still trying to figure that out because he's just such an aggressive player. This is an aggressive team, so.
I think part of it was the way that people also played against him. So this is actually the first modern team that we had on our stream, I believe. Because we started this one Sunday, so we had the dual streams going, I think, each day. But he does he triggers the Cyborg Superman with the KO on Fulcrum, and then
he gives up. I know that's a lot, but he's giving up 30 points for that. That feels like a lot. I mean, I guess if you're scoring, But that was the thing too, is he wasn't scoring a ton of points, right? So that's what's weird to me, is you're throwing off 30 to then get.
Yeah, but
Nah.
Cyborg Superman's got the ruler and scientist, and so if you're able to rivalry as well.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, the thing is though, is
yeah,
that everybody's equipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't care about losing those 30 points because he's able to just start taking stuff out. And so he's ready to attack with camo. Everyone's kind of more or less still in the starting area, and he's ready to attack with camo if they move in, and that's kind of brutal. And so I think people weren't really pro going to attack him because camo is just going to eat them. And so it was probably a pretty hard team to go up against. Because I talked to Logan too after. He was surprised that he won. What were you going to say?
I was saying, that makes a lot of sense for he's not scoring a lot of points because it's just Cyborg Superman putting in the work.
Yeah.
But yeah, he lost to Logan Prignano, an honorary flying Prignano, 300 to 115. And Logan's team is Logan, and in parentheses, it's 1.
I'm gonna say the same thing I said to Reppin is the team name. Nah, you're slacking.
Yep, he lost. This is actually why he wasn't able to make the Final Four. It's because of this team name. But he decided to go with Spot, Hell Cycle, Mysterio, Sandman with Taweret, Black Panther Legacy with Longsword, Jennifer Kale Legacy, Copycat Zenzi, Lucas PJ Scott Pog, and the Phoenix Pog. And then he had Fortify, Rivalry, Chthon, Mimic, Reverse Flash, and Taweret on his sideline with Niffy Barrel. So he's doing another one of the Spot teams.
Mm-hmm. All right, match 5, Dan.
Ant versus Nate White. So Ant played When in Rome. Yes. Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hulk with Bag of Holding instead of the +1 longsword. Juice with the motorcycle. And Death Metal. That's why Death Metal Wonder Woman with the +1 longsword. And then Silent was Fortified Beholder, Mimic, Double Thanos, and a Zombie Scarlet Witch. He also did have a barrel. I'll give him credit for that. And then Nate played. Farts.
I don't like that Bag of Holding on this team.
I don't either, but I guess
because you're giving away a free. Yeah, but you're giving up 5 free points because you can't even use the equipment for how the team's built.
No, I know. But you are scooping it up off the map, which is I'd almost rather crush the equipment, but yeah. So Nate's played a couple of variations of this team before. So this is Dr. Doom, the Collector's Throne with Trick Arrows, Caveman Wally West with the +1 longsword, Chair Panther with Avatar of Tomb, Green Man. Nope.
Wait for it. Wait, give me a second.
There we go. Man, that was such a long wait for that drop. With Avatar, Taweret, Space Ghost, Predegaton, Plastic Man, Copycat, Weasel, and Timebreaker. Sideline is Ares of Tomb, Keaton, Mimic, Reverse Flash, Taweret, and then Diabolical Bargain, Occult Retribution, and Soul Siphon, which he gets for free from Doom. And then he also had Nifty Barrel. So good job, Nate. I like this team a lot, and Nate plays it really well. He knows how to work that Doom. So
yeah, he got 15 points for his team name. Farts.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it doesn't have to be brilliant; it just has to be funny. And Farts is a great team name.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Ant won. He beat Nate handily, 300-0. I don't know what happened there, but
Nate probably wasn't able to play his team because it was Main Force Beetlejuice. That's probably what happened.
Oh yeah, because
exactly
Doom can't do all of his shenanigans. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
That's exactly. Space Ghost is a dead 30 points.
Yeah.
Plastic Man, he's useless
Man too. Yeah, he can't do his shenanigans. Yeah.
He can't play his team.
That's tough.
Yeah.
All right, and then Pete, do I go over match number 6?
I do. We have Michael Donich, who played the Devil Within Men, and he scored 75 points. Mike played he played Joe Ruffing's team and did really great with it, and Joe had a great post about it. But he had Prime Kingpin with the Bloodstone, Multiple Man, Loki, Perdegaton, Hydra Agent, a whole group of 10-point Multiple Man, Swarm of Ants, nice to see them in meta play, and the Timebreaker. His sideline was the Wall, Beetlejuice, Chthon, 2 Jersey Devils, and a Mind Gem. And he had a barrel.
This is a slight swap up from that team, but it has been like 6 to 8 months since we've seen this team previewed. So there is a couple changes.
And I just have to say that I give him kudos. I guess people are giving him crap for not just bringing out Beetlejuice, and John said he just couldn't because he didn't want his opponent to not be able to play his team because multiple mans you wouldn't have been able to use freeze, you wouldn't be able to player. And so kudos for him for actually playing the game and allowing his opponent to actually play his team.
Absolutely.
Good job. This is a cool team. I've seen it in play, and this thing.
Yeah.
hit.
No, yeah, and if you have Juice out, then it's nothing because you can't make more multiple mans. You can't use team player. You can't sidestep, and so like the team is just completely. And so instead of him doing that just to ensure the win, he just made sure that he just had a good game. So kudos for sure.
So would you say that Beetlejuice would have basically eliminated this type of a fun, awesome, unique build?
Yeah, and as we go through the next rounds, it's exactly it.
Mm-hmm.
This team, you look at this team, and then the fun farts team, like that team can't even function because you look at they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Like Space Ghost, he is completely useless. He can't do anything. So that's a wasted 30 points.
But like, how cool is it to see this Prime Kingpin build with multiple man make it to top 16, right? Now, Joe didn't do it, but Michael did.
Yes.
But yeah, everybody talked about Prime Kingpin, and Joe unlocked it, and Mike took it and ran with it. John Michael DiGilio played Pass Perfected. He scored 175, and he played. This is, I think, his pass team, or did he make any changes, guys?
It's a few changes. He has Etherin armor on Reverse Flash, Destroyer on Pegasus Cap. But it's essentially the same one that he had for King of New Orleans.
Yeah, it's very similar. Yep.
The shell is there for sure.
He did ditch. What is it? Sorry, Green Man.
Green Man. Yeah, no Green Man.
Waiting for the drop.
Green Man.
He doesn't get a drop from Green Man. I guess he does.
Yeah, he did. I was gonna say he did well because he swapped out for Zenzi, Time Breaker, and Lucas. I think at least I know there's probably some other points in there.
You're also gonna have. You're gonna also look at the one shots as well.
Yeah, sideline.
That weren't out there during that time.
Do you want to go over his team for those listening at home?
Yes, I do, because it is different. Aquanix, the Avatar of Khonshu, Zaladror, the Crimson Gem, Captain America, Peg Cap with the Destroyer armor, Reverse Flash with the Ethereum armor, as we talked about. Good old Harley Quinn, underplayed. With the Trick Arrows per Degaton, not underplayed, still great. Zenzi, Timebreaker, Lucas, PJ, and Scott. And the silent was Canavat, Fortify Rivalry, Ares, the Juice, and Khonshu, and he had a Traffic Barrel.
This is the one that was on the Dial H stream, so I was able to watch this one as well at the same time. And it was kind of cool to go back and forth and watch this game on the Dial H stream and then go back to ours and watch the Logan and Alex Mater play. Two very different games going on at the same time.
Yeah, and that's another reason why he said he didn't bring out Juice. Is because he was on stream, and so he wanted to make sure that people actually saw a good fun game of people playing HeroClix.
Much respect, John.
Yes.
Yeah,
and Mike.
That's a great team. Joe and Mike, great team.
Do you want to go to match number 7, Miles?
Yep. So we have Trent Morello, who we went over with you because this is for some reason it's your Kryptonaut team because you just beat it every time with 2 Captain Marvels.
The first time
he went
I
against.
did not.
He got wiped 300-0 facing Michael Nelson, Noodling in Modern, Kevin version. So that's what it says. So I'm guessing Kevin Manning or Kevin someone probably helped him build it. So you have the spot with Hell Cycle, Sandman. Oh no, because Kevin's on the team. So Kevin,
I wasn't sure if you were joking or not.
Yeah, Rivalry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. One shot. Which is nice to see because I think that's the first one we've seen since Smash Destroy came out. Juice, Mimic, and Reverse Flash, and he has a nifty Traffic Barrel. No, yeah, Kevin definitely helped him for sure build this team. This looks like just a Chat GPT Kevin team for what is good in Modern. It's the spot drop ship team that's just all over the place.
I do like the addition to Kevin on the team, though. Just being able to re-roll the Mysterio one or Mysterio's shape change or his generating bots.
I think, yeah. I think that's what's really important is getting Mysterio to re-roll his goons because nothing is worse than just rolling a 1 or a 2
Yes, that hurts.
on those goons. So yeah.
And then who did? So then he played Trent and beat Trent 300-0. Dan, you want to go over match number 8?
Yeah, this was good old Patrick Frazier versus Joe Harrison. So Pat played
Untitled Team, great name.
What was that?
Untitled Team, great name.
Pat. I need more from you. I expect better things. But he played a past team, which was double Captain America on the Pegasus, one with Destroyer armor, one with Mjolnir. Then it was Falcon and Red Wing with the trick arrows, a Green Man with Avatar Khonshu, the Kuki Quartet Quicksilver with the Crimson Gem, Perdegaton Double Copycat, Goose, Weasel, two Timebreaker, the figures, and then a civilian from, is that Deadpool Weapon X? No,
No, the civilian is the DC.
The starter.
Is it the DC 25?
DC
Yeah,
25, yeah, sorry. And then Canon Event, Heimdall Sight, Ares, Keaton, Khonshu, and Mimic on sideline. He also had the nifty Trevor Barrel. I'm trying to, I understand the gimmick with Falcon Red Wing, because it's like, oh, do I actually get to kill the Pogs or no? So, interesting, to say the least, for sure. I'm trying to figure out, because he does have a lot of deployment.
He's got the tons of those bystanders.
Yeah.
So,
but man, one wrong hit or even just a pulse wave and just that's a lot of points.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Falcon Red Wing is protected pulse wave for that.
It is not. No. That's why you and it's not even a power. So PJ Scott Lucas doesn't even protect it.
Nope. Yeah. So I was gonna say, that's. I like this. It's interesting, but man, that could go horribly wrong.
The thing is, though, is if you do that, then you're going up against 2 Pegasus Captain Americas that could come in on whoever you did that with.
And so, but here's a great thing too. So so besides that, Falcon Red Wing can't even function now. He went up against Joe, and I think Joe brought out Juice. I want to say.
Oh,
I think he did.
Sad times.
So you can't TK the bystanders. You can't make your close attacks. You're using a sidestep, can't outwit, can't use your reflexes. But whatever. But yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. So Joe played his.
Wait, real quick. I just want to point it out again. So you take a very cool, unique team that made top 16, like this Falcon Red Wing bystander team, and again, it just gets shut down by one piece that comes off the sideline.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, that's it. Go ahead.
So Joe played. This is pretty much his champion cliX team with what slight deviation because you have Fortify and Rivalry.
I don't know. He's trash.
Okay, gotcha. So it's Prime Colossus. Oh, the big swap is Destroyer armor instead of the motorcycle. And then Ghost Rider with the Crimson Gem, Kevin with Taweret, Chair Panther with the +1 longsword, Perdegaton, Timebreaker, and Lucas PJ Scott. And then, like I said, sideline was Fortify, Rivalry, Keaton, Chthon, Scarlet Witch, and Taweret. He did also have the nifty barrel.
He did. I got to watch quite a few of his games. He was sweating at him though, but it was fun to watch Joe play a lot of these.
Yeah, he messaged me super early. I think it was 2:00 my time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I couldn't even get by the time I woke up. He was already doing cut, the game was done. So yeah, no, he's definitely sweating on Pat's team, and I think that because Pat's a great player. Let's not forget it. He's a former champion. So yeah, it's a great player, and yeah, it's one of those just unfortunate things that that his team couldn't function and everything. I said I wasn't really able to see this game. I just know his next game he did bring out Juice to benefit him, and so I don't really see anything that's going to stop him from doing that here, especially when you look at the points.
It's also a really low scoring game too, especially for considering.
That just when you look at that, you're you brought it out.
Well, it's probably really hard for him to deal with a swarm team like that too, for Joe against.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at it too, and I'm not gonna just trash Joe Gary Coleman, which you're talking about Willis, just to trash him, but there are those things in this game. So to be abused, if you don't, your opponent will. I completely understand that. I've done it myself, but it's still. I still think it's bad for the game. Joe still does. Like this, certain things just shouldn't exist. Like this is essentially like playing Magic the Gathering. You have a that says your opponent can't draw cards. Like the entire point of like, it stops you from playing HeroClix. I know they say that the how HeroClix used to be. No, HeroClix used to always be able to running shot energy explosion. You used to be able to charge, destroy a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That was the end of top 16. So then top 8 was Michael Nelson versus Joe Harrison, with Joe winning. Then we have Ant W versus John Michael DeGiulio, with Ant winning that one. And then Adam Friedman versus Logan Prignano, 10-0. And Isaac playing Denny, with Isaac winning 300-60. Man, those are low-scoring games for a lot of those.
And I also want to mention, too, with the Michael Nelson Joe game, like, I do want to defend Michael Nelson's choice. I know that he was getting a lot of crap on so he was winning 80-40 after Joe killed his Chair Panther, and then he called in Juice, and then Michael Nelson immediately conceded. But, like, when you actually look at it, like, because he said he's my team, and he was right. Like, realistically, there's no chance that he could have won that game. And so, like, I completely understand playing it out, but I also understand what Michael did, because now he's just frustrated because he can't even play. And so, like, why waste, like, the next 40 minutes just knowing that you're going to lose and just go and play a BR or something. So
and Joe had rivalry still on his sideline, too.
So I do understand why Michael did it, and I think he gets way more crap than he deserved.
Yeah, he knew that he wasn't going to be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Top 4 then was Ant W against Joe Harrison, and then Isaac versus Adam. So Isaac beat Adam, and then Joe beat Ant, and that kind of gave Joe a warm-up for the final, which was another main forest Beetlejuice team. We did not mention the top 4. Of the top 4, it was Joe's Ghost Rider Colossus team against 3 main forest Beetlejuices. And then...
Yeah, I also have some fun statistics after we...
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
So, yeah.
Last match was Isaac versus Joe Harrison. What's up?
Yeah.
Are you actually looking forward to that?
The stats? Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you?
No, because I'm going to be depressed.
Yeah, you're going to be very depressed, and then it's going to be real hard for anyone to defend this. Yeah. So, you look at the 3 Juice teams. Only 3 of them were played. They all made cut.
Hold on. Joe took today. He beat Isaac.
He did.
300 to 150.
He did, and you know what?
Congratulations to
And
Joe.
just like Lex Luger, he'll be your hero. When you look down at your young boy's eyes. See, this is what Redman looked down at his young boy's eyes all over, and he just said, "I'll be your hero because of Joe." So
Oliver was playing
Joe
BRs. He had no care on what was going on in Modern. But yeah. I did get to watch this the whole time, and it was a really good match. This one was on this is the main event. Yeah, so we had this on both channels, so you can either catch it on the Dial H stream from up above with commentary, or we did a side view with no commentary on our page. So really good game though, definitely a game worth checking out.
Yeah, no, he practiced against it. He knew exactly how to deal with it. And so the stats are, so there's 25 games played between the three Juice teams. And there were 20-5 total, but that statistic is actually misleading because 2 of those games were mirror matches. Isaac played the other 2 and he won. So that's going to bring it to 18-3. And then those 3 losses, Joe actually beat all 3 of them. So you're actually going to remove that from Joe because Joe's the only non-Juice player to beat it. So we're going to take Joe out of that equation too. And so now when you look at the field of 68 players minus the 4 players, so it's 64, the Juices were 18-0. And when you look at the 1 player that was able to beat those Juices out of the 64 people in the field, well, that's 1.5% of the field was able to beat this team. And that's a disgusting statistic.
I agree.
When you look at that.
Run that statistic back again. What was that that end statistic there?
1.5% of the field, 64 people, was able to beat these juice teams.
No,
I'm not-
technically. Oh, was there a mirror match? Because as Anton,
There was two. No, there was 25 games played between 3 juice players. So Isaac played them, so that's 2 and 2. So we're going to subtract that to make it 18 and 3. Those other 3 losses, Joe beat them. So Joe's the only non-juice player. So that means it's now 18 and 0 against every other team out of the 64 teams. Because we're not including Joe or the 3 juice players.
Oh, because
It's just
Ant had
18 and
another loss, so I'm assuming it wasn't.
It was
again.
no, his loss was Isaac and Joe.
Oh, okay.
Adam's losses were Isaac and Joe.
Okay.
And Isaac's loss was Joe.
Okay.
So
Well,
yeah, that's
all right. Ugh.
so you're going to add Joe back to that statistic to be 65 players, and with only one of those players being able to beat this team. I know you can say, well, there's only such and such. That's 1.5% of the field. And then if you want to just look at the different players that they did, so they played 16 unique players, including Joe, which is 6.7% of the teams they played won, which is only one team. That's ridiculous of a statistic, and them thinking that it's not a problem. And you can't just say it's Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk, because he was able to do it with Moreland. And so you're going to look at like what's on that team, and it's Juice being able to stop. Like even in the finals, I gave Joe crap on the stream because I'm like, nope, that is an illegal win, because right before he was able to win, he sidestepped with a timebreaker. So with Juice on the map, but so that's the entire point too. It's just it's just disgusting when you look at like they're 18 and 0 against everyone that wasn't Isaac or Joe.
Mm-hmm.
That's a horrible statistic of even their 16 unique opponents, only one was able to beat them.
I mean, they're all good players, so like.
No, I understand that though, but if you actually go and look through Ant's other games and everything, it's not just destroying with this one piece. There's literally no defending it at all. Nothing has been able to
I'm not
really
trying
do
to,
this. No, I know, I understand.
That wasn't my point. Was that I'm thinking they could do just as well with a different team.
Of course they can, yeah, but their opponents are actually able to play the game that way. Your opponents aren't. And is there things in Modern that are a problem? If now the counter argument is going to be this spot, would be a problem. Well, spot should have been fixed the moment Adepticon happened.
Mm-hmm.
Like you should have looked at that and said that he shouldn't be able to place adjacent. Like that one fix is totally fine, being able to do that kill box. But your opponents can still play the game. When you look at all these different teams that made top 16, if they went up against a Juice team, they just can't play. And then you look at besides the Isaac and Ant team who was playing with the Spirit of Vengeance, which is more of an aggressive, just I'm going to be able to wipe my opponent.
Yeah.
You're going to have Adam, who went 6-2 with 590 points, and out of 8 games.
And
yeah, it's just disgusting.
It's not taking away from any of these, saying that that they're not good
I'm
players.
Not trying to take, I'm not taking away. Of course, yeah, they're good players and they can win regardless.
But the field was full of good players, and the fact that no other good players could best any of them in other rounds, I think says something about the piece in general.
Yeah, and I think Joe's team is one of those unique teams. I know he asked one of these questions, but we'll get to that too. But it's like, and it's a strategy that was able to work, and he was able to practice against it, knowing that he was playing that.
Well, and he has defenses against stuff like that. Like his team also doesn't operate like on a ton of free actions. Like it has some on that team, but that team
and like myself, like I can build a team that is similar to where I'm not functioning that. But like what I'm trying to do is I'm just to get out there. Like it shouldn't be so limited.
No,
there's tons of pieces that I want to play. Like Last Worlds, like, and even like this year, like. I still want to play Donnie Blaze. He's banned. So, like, this is my last year to play Donnie Blaze. I loved Super Rare Wong. And I was planning on building with him for his last year in Modern. But once Juice came out, like, he is useless. Because the one thing that makes him good is after he phases, he can use Flurry. But now he can't.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, that's a dead 75 points.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what the main problem is, that you can try and say, well, it was able to hamper there. That's just not good enough for me. And obviously, rivalry needs addressed, and so it can't even. But
Yeah, we
I
can
think
get
this
to
just shows that literally the three teams went undefeated against everybody that obviously won Isaac. Like that's insane that they went undefeated against the field.
Mm-hmm. But we will move on. I totally agree, though, with everything you said, Miles. It makes more things less playable than more things playable. But congrats to Joe Harrison for taking the win. He went to this event.
I'm not going to take anything away from Joe.
Oh no,
So,
he took first in silver.
Yeah.
No, he took second in silver. He took first in teams and then first in the Modern National Championship. So congrats to Joe for killing it this weekend and the year that he's had already, because he also won Champion Clix Open in February.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's having a killer year.
Yeah.
All right, we're with any big event, we do try to grab a couple of new rulings that people might not be aware of. So,
Oh, you didn't know?
this one was big. So this is creating an illegal game state for Mimic. So the ruling out of Origins is if the character picking up the object or terrain is in a square that would break the rule of occupancy, if Mimic came out, then Mimic actually cannot be rolled for. So the bigger the base, the easier it is to pull off, but it's not limited to just a Colossal or a 1x2. But all you have to do is pick it up while standing on a friendly character, or if like you're flying over outdoor blocking, whatever. But yeah, if it would create an illegal game state, then they cannot roll for Mimic. And that's honestly really big.
One thing I was trying to understand, because it says you place Mimic adjacent to that figure. So even if you're standing on a
So the
friendly
problem
character,
is that your piece stops moving and they cannot be placed where they are. So it's not that Mimic doesn't have a place to go. It's that your character creates the illegal game state.
Yeah, because they completely stop it. Oh yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, because you can immediately stop that. Got it. Yeah.
So yeah, that was huge, and now I don't feel like it's necessary to choose Mimic for the Chair Panther choice. Yeah, because of that. So a little bit of a way to deal with Mimic, and I actually like that ruling quite a bit. Another one was the walls on Brock's Bunker and Alien Aquarium. So if people did not know, walls are on both sides of elevation if they're on a rim. So there's double walls on Brock's Bunker, but it only really counts as one wall, which a lot of people do not know, that the doubles, you don't have to break through them twice, because you cannot have back-to-back walls. And then for Alien Aquarium, again, the walls are considered to be on both elevations. So if you are on the border of an elevation, the walls of the tank do not block line of fire if you're both on elevation 2, which most of the map is, even if it looks like the walls are on elevation 1. So that will block it. And then the third one is holding effect terrain can affect the adjacent squares of characters holding it. So Ghost Rider holding the phone booth, if he has super strength, actually does give himself shape change because he's a 1x2 and one of his squares is adjacent to his other square. So also that works for Kong or anyone else like that. What did you guys think of that ruling?
It's
I don't like that one.
It's on brand with how everything else has been ruled with it, so it's not surprising even if I don't agree with it. But I understand that there is a precedent for it.
Yeah, there's just like there's a fix for that one, at least with the wording of how those like effect. I think it's with the effect terrain itself is worded. So
yeah, personally not a fan of that one.
No, I'm not either. I saw that and I went, oh no, I don't want anything to do with that.
I think that the two biggest ones coming out of Origins, though, is the thing with Mimic and then the effect terrain, though. Those are really big and honestly can sway some games. So definitely keep an eye on those.
Kevin with Juice as well.
Oh, what was the other one with that? With the way that the dial turns?
They changed it now, didn't they?
Yeah. So now it's gonna trigger his trait. So he'll take it, but he has to go on his card. So and he'll get the argument token.
Even if he's not KO'd?
Yeah, even if he's not KO'd, he goes on his card and because he's getting damage.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah.
Did you guys pick up on any other ones that you heard just talking to people that were around the event?
No, that was the Kevin one was the biggest one that you didn't bring up that I know about.
Yeah, the Mimic one was crazy. As soon as I heard that, I think it was actually I think Peter Marshfield actually came over and told me about it after one of his games, and I immediately used it in my next game. So I actually liked that one quite a bit.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's
I started using it quite
nice
a few.
Too, yeah.
And I also used it in my last game too against Ryan. So
so the one thing that I saw with Spirit of Vengeance, and I'm really hoping that this is going to become a thing, is because they say Elevated fixes it. Is it time for Black Beetle to finally go, hey, guess what? You don't have those Elevated, so guess who's making their...
Yeah, the points are a lot, but he's not bad. He does so many cool things. It's just 75 is so much.
It is, but look at what you're doing with Spirit of Vengeance. You're now protecting him to where now they literally have to fill every adjacent square now in order for him not to make a pilot. And that's not easy. So, I mean, I think Black Beetle Spirit of Vengeance could be a thing because now you're like, I don't care. I'm still...
Yeah, that's how most people are taking care of him. I saw my way is normally just with all the different bystanders and pieces is just going around him. But I saw that happen a couple times, but a lot of people did pack the elevated terrain.
Yeah, no, that was Joe's main strategy against and Isaac.
Yeah.
And just, when you look at it, like, what if Isaac would have had Black Beetle on that team instead of Kong, What could have been?
I don't know if that would have made the team better, to be honest with
you. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just, he wouldn't have been able to use his elevator. That's the point.
All right, yeah. So those are the some of the cool rulings that came out of Origins. This Sunday, though, is our monthly invitational championship game for June. June is Robot, and I believe we have 8 people for this one. Dan wasn't able to play in June, so his pick from the previous month will carry over. He chose Kevin, right?
I did, yeah. Get banned.
So we won't be seeing many Kevins. And then I won June, so I took Prime the Vision off of the board for everybody else as well.
Oh, man, Pete, what are you going to do without the GOAT?
Do you have a plan?
I think it was a kind of a cowardly... Yeah, he's a cowardly choice by Redmond.
I'm glad I don't have to deal with him. I honestly don't know. I've been insanely busy with this move and everything, so I have not built my team. I keep going back and forth between playing him at different point values, just because he's been back-to-back winners of Robot Month before, so it almost seems like I have to play him, but at the same time not having to worry about him makes me feel better about playing something else. So hopefully
So how does it work with the bans? Like your Dan's ban doesn't affect you and your ban doesn't affect Dan?
Yeah, so if we wanted, we could both play Vision and Kevin.
Gross.
And then I got to find out what I think Christine came in second for June, so I got to actually see what she picked for equipment.
If you guys both play Vision, we need to play Foreigners Double Vision.
We are doing it on Sunday though, so check that out this Sunday, the 29th. All right, ready to rally these? Here are the listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody!
First, we have McConnell Lamar. Hey, gents, how did you enjoy your time at Origins? Congrats to Antonio Clark on winning the BR Championship. What other non-main event awards do you think would work in HeroClix? And then I am definitely for commentary during gameplay. There does need to be a balance between the commentary and allowing the audience to hear the players, but overall, I'm down for it. That was hard to balance. I think that was the hardest part because if they aren't doing or saying anything, then there's really not usually a ton to talk about, and so that balance I think is definitely the biggest thing to work on. But yeah, congrats to Antonio for winning the BR Championship. I'm not sure what other non-main event awards though would work in HeroClix. What do you guys think?
I guess you could consider something with like a bunch of supercharged sealed in one event, maybe.
It's tough. I don't know if any other main event awards really work besides BRs, because BR is just such a unique format, that's gonna be throughout the entire weekend. So you almost feel like you have to put in just as much work, if not more, than modern, because it's BRs are not easy to win. There's 4 people, so I think BR championship is actually the perfect one.
Yeah, there's so many people that go to these that travel and go to these events just to play in BRs. So I think not only just having like an all-time player, which I think they did for Adepticon, they actually had like a leaderboard that they were doing a really good job of keeping track of. You can follow it on HC Units, and they actually prized out, I think, top 4.
Yes, I believe they did. Yeah.
It was really cool. I think they did a really good job doing that and really focusing on that being a thing worthwhile because, honestly, it's not all about, modern or silver. So being able to take a different format like that and run it all weekend and come on the leaderboard was pretty impressive. And I must say, Ali did take 6th place on that leaderboard at the end. Ali killed it this weekend.
I was going to say, he got real close.
Yeah, and there's a good chance that he could have won if he didn't play in modern. So
yeah, I know. I kept telling him that, I told him he worked on a team with me that he really liked, that Legacy Juggernaut team. And I told him, I'm like, it doesn't matter that we already paid for modern. You're doing really well on the leaderboard. And if you want to go play all battle royales to try out that leaderboard and get the first place on it, then there's nothing wrong with that. And we'll have you sign up for those. And he was just dead set on playing modern. So that's where that was.
Yeah, I just think it's so awesome to have the BR championship, because like you said, especially like for Worlds or events like that, there are a good portion of players that go just to play BRs. And so to allow them to get that championship, it doesn't feel like participation championship, because you have to put in arguably more work than you do in modern to get that BR.
Well, the work in time and the work in financial investment. I mean, BRs are more expensive to enter than most of the bigger events.
Oh yeah,
I think it's great to offer that. And honestly, at this point, I think BRs are probably the 3rd most important format in HeroClix.
I'd agree with that.
For now.
Duos
is making a comeback.
We actually played a game with Calder and Alec. That was actually a lot of fun. All right, then question number 2. Do you think there was enough evidence of anything that will cause WizKids to make any changes or erratas between player feedback and the actual event results? Hopefully we see some changes to Beetlejuice, Canon Event, and Rivalry. And then one-shots and Silver, I think, are even worse, but we don't have to really get into that. So as far as just changes in errata, those are the 3 that I hope and I think this weekend proved it. Do you guys have any other ones?
They already changed the Juice and Kevin interaction, so was that just a ruling, or was that actually carrying over?
No, it's just a ruling.
Okay, well, I'd hope that would carry over then. That would be nice, because that's it would be good to not have him just be the easy. He's already the good 40 points, but now he is the no drawback Keaton answer. So
that's.
Pete,
I think that is actually a really good showing for exactly what needed fixed. So, and you know what? This is honestly, like, when you look at like previous years, like even Nationals last year, like the problematic figures are less, but the problematic figures are worse, if that makes sense.
It absolutely does.
They have a much bigger.
It's a small.
Yeah,
like because I have Spot, Juice, and Red Hulk. I think are like. And obviously Canon Event and Rivalry. Canon Event, just, I don't know how the heck that got made, but a few of these, there's a few like wording issues. And like to a lesser extent, like per Degaton, just because it feels, like overkill to be able to place your opponents for only 20 points and plus on top of what else he does. Like maybe make that 40 or 60 points. But like if they leave that alone, whatever. I think that the main culprits are going to be the pieces that are going to stay in modern post rotation, and that's going to be Spot, Juice, and Red Hulk potentially, unless they lost.
The thing with Spot is he's going to drop. I feel like with the rotation of the bikes, his equipment, unless we get something that can just grant sidestep or something, he's gonna.
Well, no, yeah, but it's what makes him really good is you after resolutions you may place a hit adjacent to the Spot. That's right there. Like that's the one thing that really gets him over the edge because. There's I guess you can give him charge, and then who knows what other equipment. There's probably going to be and then also too, like there's an arrow, for instance, that can get him to move. if they share keywords, or give him flight, which is pretty easy to give him flight because right now there's 2 equipment to give him flight. So there is going to be ways.
The problem with Arrow,
Post-rotation
so we were actually looking at this, and the problem with Arrow is that you would have to fly her up there and sacrifice her to be able to accomplish that.
Yeah,
so
you know what? You look at is that problem if you're going to sacrifice 45 points to get 100? It's give and take, and I'm not saying that it's like optimized. I'm just saying that there's still a way to get him to benefit from being still moving back into his starting area. And then, move him. It's the placing adjacent to him into those kill boxes. I think that just because of everything else that he does.
Without something else cheaper coming out, though, like he's doing that for 15 points now. I don't think you sink in 45 on Arrow when that changes and then sacrifice her. I don't think that's the way.
No,
we looked through a lot of stuff on I think it was Sunday night, and we could not find anything that would make it really work. It's 15 points right now. It's 5 points in silver if you just go with the cloak and you're not playing Saki.
Oh, well, but even with Arrow, I think that there is still some there. It's obviously you're gonna be wasting actions and everything, but it's still possible, and who knows what else is coming out. There actually is a legacy figure too that you just choose a friendly character and move them 2 squares. The legacy from Winter Legacy.
Oh, is that one? When did that come out? That legacy card?
Sister Cersei. So it's just says Sister Cersei and another friendly character within range and line of fire may each move up to 2 squares.
Yeah. See, so again, you still have to fly her up and sacrifice her. How many points is she?
You don't have to though. You don't have to. It's very easy to do. It's a free. So like you can TK her up, and so now she's gonna be able to see 11 squares out. And then there's.
What's her range?
It's going to be a lot easier than she has 6 range.
Okay. I just think that the strategy, it was a pretty frequently used strategy.
It's not going to be as easy, obviously, because it is 15 points. I'm just saying that's the problem with him is being able to place hit characters. Like attacking across the map is bad enough, but being able to place characters hit adjacent, because all right, your piece is dead, but Sandman.
Yeah. If you were gonna fix Predegaton, what would you say?
I think that he should only place opponents if he's 40 or 60.
That's
he should be
exactly
able
what
to
I was gonna
play.
say.
I was gonna say
It's that simple of a thing because he does enough, and then
20.
he's still really good for 40 points. Okay, so you're saying, well, why don't you just do 60? I just don't think you ever play him at 60. I think that if for 20 more points, because then again you also have to KO him twice, so he is getting that 40 points.
Yeah,
worthwhile. So you pay that 40 to be able to place your opponent, into another square. I think that's totally fine, and that's still extremely good for 40 points. But I know that he is rotating, and usually, when figures are rotating, they're like, whatever. It's silver's problem.
Wait, Master of Time isn't going to rotate.
No, they're still in.
Oh, never mind. No. What was it? Yeah. No, never mind. No, so that's the easiest fix with that. Just because I think that he does too much as it is for. Like he's still extremely good if he doesn't place your characters. I think rivalry just needs to get Mutt's tomb. Omid's tomb. Like that's gone.
That needs permaban. I'm sorry. Like it's a dice game, and you're taking dice out of the equation. That to me is wrong.
Yeah, and then Cannon Event is just an opposing effect. Yep. I think that we've seen throughout the years of HeroClix, and that's why it's still weird that this is getting printed 20 plus years later, that when you can manipulate something without your opponent to benefit you, it never ends well.
Oh, also
people are going to find ways to abuse.
Also, when has KOing your own figures ever been good for you?
Yeah, exactly. Just adds to be asked to be abused. Juice, when he comes off the sideline, your opponent chooses the figure to take the unavoidable damage.
Oh, that would be.
And it should be within 4 squares.
Different too, yeah.
I would say it's either that or it has to be a standard character for sure. It can't be anything that's not standard.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
I just like that with what he does for that free 100 points. If you're going to leave him out, all right, I'm going to deal with damage. And then, I just think the blanket full map just we saw it, like 3 teams just waffle stomped.
Well, yeah.
I think that he's within 4 squares. I think it's fine, especially we have because he also says pretty much, why would you ever pay 125 points for 3 clicks of Hulkbuster? So now you're like, okay, Hulkbuster just stops my opponent from doing all but 1 for 125 points. Well, Juice is 25 points less, but it's within. So, okay, there's some give and take. And so you're going to be able to choose between those because you're never going to pick Hulkbuster over Juice. Like, it's realistically in a competitive scene. Mm-hmm. And then we also have the green power battery coming out. And that just, you got to work up to that, and that's going to be able to get KO'd. So
I will give the green power battery a break, at least that you have to crank that up to get there fast.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about the power battery at all. It's, you actually have to do stuff. And that's why I think that Juice is just 4 squares. And yeah, go ahead, keep him on the sideline. Now I'm going to choose, which means that go ahead, bring him out. I won't choose him with Cherry Panther.
You have somebody do their alpha, and then they bring in Beetlejuice with a few time breakers, and it's like, how are you even supposed to respond to that when they just got their full turn with them also?
Yeah. Yeah, and then now if you're going to keep him out, I'm going to choose. You're not getting that 5-point piece.
Right.
No.
You rolled a 5 or a 6. Ooh, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to hit your main attacker.
I think that's a good change too. Definitely on the option list. McConnell's third question: what were some of your biggest takeaways and surprises of the event? I think the mimic ruling we talked about before, that was big. And then players, even though they still played him, for the majority, don't think Beetlejuice is good for the game. There's a few people that'll still say otherwise, but I think I heard quite the majority saying they're against him.
Yeah, the mimic ruling is exactly what just caught me off guard.
I like that one a lot, though. All right,
yeah, it's awesome.
Go to Anthony Barnstable. Based on what you watched and looking at the data, do you think any errata or other changes are needed to any formats before Worlds, and what changes? The Beetlejuice that we talked about that needs to be nerfed as main force and even on the sideline. We've talked about canon events. It needs to only be when a KO happens from an opposing effect. Rivalry's terrible. I think that's fine. I think, Miles, you mentioned just giving it the Ambet's Tomb treatment and getting rid of it.
Yep. Yeah.
And I think Silver...
Especially because that's the one that comes in the play-at-home kit, right?
No.
Yeah.
Is it Rivalry?
Yeah, Rivalry.
Oh, yeah, that was the play-at-home. Yeah, that was the play-at-home. It was the...
Yeah, so that way, like, people didn't really try and fork money. Because, like, Amit's Tomb was going for, like, $100.
Yeah.
And I think there was someone that bought spent like $115 the day before it got just instant banned. So at least we don't have to worry about that, because like it's in a play at home kit. So
I think Silver needs one shots addressed even more so than Modern though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's probably pretty similar to what we just mentioned. Do you guys have anything to add to that list though?
Nope. I mean Spot. But we went over him.
Yeah. Second question.
I think you guys covered it, honestly.
Yeah, you don't have any other ones to add, do you?
Mm-hmm.
Those are the bigger, most toxic things.
Red Hole Pilot.
Yeah, that one too that we mentioned. What quality of life improvements would you like to see happen at Worlds compared to Origins and Adepticon? I still would love to see a themed event and a 2v2 event, but preferably the duos format.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see the duos at Worlds. Like, I think that would be really fun because there's going to be a lot of people like they're doing BRs, maybe they can, because that's just really fun. Because it's not, you can build the best team, but like you really got to work with your partner. So
yeah,
I do like that format.
Plus, duos,
I agree with that. Go ahead, Dan.
Duos is just a fun format. It's very much more engaging because you have multiple people, and the banter is probably like some of the best that I enjoy out of that format. So it's a good time, and I enjoyed it in New Orleans just as much as I do like what we're doing here. So,
I would just like to see Team Sealed include the chase booster.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good change that should be continued for sure. Third question: will Pete be at Worlds? I miss Pete. Why would you miss Pete, Anthony?
You know what, Anthony? Ignore him. I miss you too. I will be at Worlds. We already have the days off. We just need some hotel blocks to open up, and we'll arrange living conditions. And we will be. I think our team is looking to come pretty heavy to Worlds, right?
Oh yeah, we'll be deep there.
Yeah. Yep.
Fourth, should there be some sort of group or chat for players to be able to say, hey, at whatever convention, I'm getting breakfast here at X time if anyone wants to join, or hey, after events, I'm doing Y in the evening if anyone wants to join? That's actually not a bad idea, either like a Discord or a separate Facebook group, maybe, and then just kind of get the word around
Discord
those
actually
groups.
I think a Discord would probably be better, would be really good for that, but also have a Facebook too, because I guess not everyone has Discord. But I think both those is awesome.
Yeah, I was originally thinking Discord would have been better, but the problem with Discord is it's very easy to lose like the messages. At least you still have like the main post of someone saying I'm going here, and then people can comment under it. Now, do we need the 174th HeroClix Facebook page? Maybe not, but that might be a better way to do this, I think.
Can we possibly ask Clay to make HC units do one more thing?
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah. Next question.
Yeah. So, what is the next update to HC units you would like to see? It is the best tournament software in my opinion, and there is always room for more growth. Definitely the best tournament software for sure. But it already does almost anything and everything. So like, what else is it missing? Maybe AI to build your teams. That would be good.
Yeah, so that's exactly because I play Marvel Snap, and so what you can do is you can throw a card or a few cards, and you're like build my deck, and so what it does is it goes through the algorithm of like all the decks that are built and what you have in your collection, and builds it with that, and that'd be really cool. I know that you'd have to have it tied into your collection. Like there's a lot that can do with it, but that'd be really cool to have a team build. I'm sure ChatGPT can probably work with it on how to play the team, but you have to teach ChatGPT. But like that'd be a really cool option. But there's a lot of work there, and would be fun.
What about a round counter to see how many turns people are taking?
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing that, similar to like first player type stats.
Yeah, first player, and then how many turns? Yeah, each player got. So you can't say just 7 turns, because it's like, all right, so who got the 7th turn? I think it'd be cool because obviously you're gonna have a player that has less turns,
Right.
But it'd be cool in order to even submit it, you have to say how many turns you took.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
like
That'd
that.
be cool.
Yeah. Dan, do you have anything you would add to HC units?
No, those are all like really good suggestions. I had a very like personal one is like to have stats of my personal collection, like like what keyword do I own the most of, stuff like that, or like just like look at stats of like my own collection for things like that, because that for me like with team building is a big deal, because it's like, oh well, I have a lot of this, maybe I can make something really good out of it, type of thing.
And that seems a lot probably the easiest to do with the how many turns you got compared to like building a team to be added for sure. Because like building your team, like you need that. There's there's a lot of code you're gonna have to put in for that, because it's gonna have to go off.
Well, he's already got the stats for the like each like set that he makes, so I don't know how much could cross over, but yeah, it's probably much more taxing.
Yeah.
Pete, is there anything that HC units doesn't do for you right now that you would like it to? That's relatively PG.
Honestly, I was gonna say hot local singles, but honestly, no. I mean, Clay
that's a good idea. Dating HeroClix app. Yeah.
Hot local HeroClix singles. No,
it's not Tinder. It's called Clixer. Just Clixer.
Yeah.
Download the Clixer app.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, I think that's it. I mean, what are you gonna say to Clay, who's given us this incredible like?
Yeah,
it's honestly, it's perfect. It's a perfect way to run an event. It's a perfect way to register for an event. It actually, and I'm a serial non-register. The guys on Monday night at our store knows when I walk in, they just add me because I'm not registering any other way. So it's phenomenal. Thank you very much, Clay.
Number 6, which event of the weekend was your favorite and why? It's always Modern. Everything was enjoyable, but those big Modern events are always my favorite.
What was that event where it was a team where that guy was playing the Super Sword because those teams seem, because there was also a pretty cool Reggie was playing Apocalypse that was actually really cool because you could, since it was hit with attack, if you mind controlled, you could make the parademon because it wasn't like mastermind, so you could actually stop them from masterminding your main attacker.
Oh, okay. So they actually did a really cool thing at this event where they ran like mini pods of Modern, and up to 8 people could sign up for it. And so you can either just kind of try some like theory crafting things in person, which I thought was an awesome idea, or just like practice your team a little bit before you play in the main event. So I actually love that. I hope they continue that.
Yeah.
Dan, did you have a favorite event?
Well, I really like the silver event because I got to see a bunch of different teams that like I thought were really neat. I mean, yes, there was some obvious like crossover from H4H, but overall it was really cool to see a lot of those teams for that event. I do enjoy silver quite a bit. And I was sad to not be able to go to this event after being at H4H. So,
Pete, did you have a favorite event?
Honestly, I would say I really enjoyed silver too. I liked it. Dude, the coverage was so good this weekend. Like, you felt like even when you couldn't make it, like you were still involved in it. Like, the streams were great. The live chats during the streams were hilarious. Like, I just want to give a big kudos to everybody that made it so the rest of us that couldn't make it felt like we'd still enjoy part of it.
yeah, I was only my only sad point is that Ian was not there, correct? Yes.
No, he was not.
That was the only thing that was missing for me. I do enjoy seeing Ian at events, so that was not. But you guys did a really fantastic job of coverage with everything, and I did go back and watch like your what was it, basically like play by play. Like it was cool. It was good to watch. Like, and you guys did a good job of like balancing it out between letting the players talk and like trying to give good like quality commentary. So.
It was honestly a ton of fun. Like I'm almost trying to contemplate on how we can do that a little bit for even just some of our events, because it was a lot of fun to do.
That was something that I've always thought is like this could definitely be a thing. Like, why is it not? You know, because you don't have to do like a crazy amount of commentary. You just do enough where people like get the gist of what's going on, and they're like, I mean, if you're watching HeroClix, I would think you'd want to like generally like how it works, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's so much better than just watching the players because it's like it was just you're engaging, and it was a really cool concept.
The most challenging part though is trying to like balance that time where like the players are talking and trying to like talk in the silences. Like if you're watching any other sports game, right? If there's like a foul, like there's some time to talk in between the players, you can throw out some stats, whatever, right? But when the player's just thinking, at any point he could just make up his mind and start talking about what he's gonna do, right? And so like what do? Just shut up and forget what you're saying, and so that they can do that. And then let's say you do that, and then they like, oh, never mind, and then they go back to thinking. So it was definitely, cliX is hard to do it with, but it was a lot of fun, and I think it'll just get better if we keep going with it. 7 thoughts on coverage. So were you guys ever covering BRs? We did at least one. That was Oliver's that we talked about, which he won. Or giving updates on the BR champ standings. We did not do that when I was on at all, but that's a good idea to keep that in line. Definitely keep doing the leaderboard though. That was awesome. Did you ever do interviews with any of the staff? I know Ryan Opalk jumped on once. I'm not sure if a couple of judges did or not either. Did you guys see any judges?
Aaron was on Wednesday or the first day or whatever that was.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know if there was any cliques being played when they went live.
Wednesday was no cliques. That was just like a welcome day. Yeah. Did you ever do interviews with someone after a learn to play to get their perspective and thoughts? That I don't think we did either. I don't know. Do you guys think that would be something that people would want to hear?
I think so. I think that that it could be very interesting to hear from a new player's perspective, especially like after they spent 20 or 30 minutes of telling them how things work, like sidestep, and then making them play a game against Beetlejuice.
So yeah, after they learn how to play, then introduce them to what this piece does and how you can't do anything you just learned how to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, though, you could probably even use that information to help teach people to play at your local stores. So that's actually not a bad idea.
You kind of had a little bit of that with like some of the battle royal coverage, because there was a player in there with Ollie who was like talking to him during the game of like, yeah, I used to play, but I quit playing and I came back, and so it was kind of fun to hear that. And I mean, Ollie was just all about explaining whatever he could.
Oh yeah.
So that was honestly great.
Going to Joe Ruffing. All right, you guys are gonna have to help me with this word. Better portmanteau. Portmanteau.
Look at you, portmanteau.
All right.
Yeah.
For happy and jealous, jalopy or happus? What do we like better? No particular reason.
So now that you know with the full question, what does portmanteau mean? Portmanteau.
I mean, it's the combination of two words. The
Exactly.
combination, the duo. I don't know.
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna drop the second A of jalopy for jelpy.
No, jalopy. I just because it reminds me of jalopy.
That's what it reminds me of too, and it makes me uncomfortable saying that word, so I can't do it.
Well, and that's why, because you're jealous, so you're uncomfortable to begin with.
Wow. Okay.
No, I like happus. You know, I'm happy, but I'm jealous.
Yeah, happus is good stuff. I like that one.
Yeah, are you more jealous or happy?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
I can.
So maybe both these,
They
depending
both
on like
exist.
where you're more. Yeah.
I try to consistently stay like more on the happy side than the jealous. It's like a happy jealousy. Like I'm really happy that whatever happened, but I'm still slightly envious. You know?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, that's where you want to be at. But sometimes you're going to be jalopy. You know?
Oh yeah.
A slappy jalopy.
I think both. We're going with both, depending on what you feel more.
Yeah, I think there's a very distinct determination if you are more jealous than happy or happy than jealous. All right, going to Mark Bird. Great to have D-Gens coverage throughout the weekend. Be great to see you guys do this at all the major events. With the release of Joker Zard, do you think we'll see the other villains from the Jurassic League? Atrocitus, Bizarro, Black Manta, Darkseid, Giganta, and Reverse Flash. I hope to see them so much in Masters of Time, and it was one of the highlights of our Origins to see Joker Zard come out. That's actually the first thing I thought about when we saw Joker Zard. I need Atrocitus, Black Manta, and Darkseid, even if that's the same way they're released. Those guys look awesome.
Yeah, no, I love the sculpt, but it was a little disappointing to see that they were a single base with Giant, because Joker Zard is as big as Batwalker.
Mm-hmm.
And Joker Zard on a 2x2?
He is.
No.
You sure?
Oh,
is
okay.
he a 2x2?
I'm almost,
okay, it looked like a single base. Okay.
I'm almost positive. I have not actually even opened mine from a box. That is
from the box. It looked like, or from the figure itself. No, it says 2x2.
Okay. I haven't even opened mine yet because it comes in a bigger box. I've been just so crazy. All my LEs are still sitting in the box.
But yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
But yeah, we need Atrocitus or whatever, Black Mantasaurus, for sure. I think
they all look cool. And Darkseid looks like a beast too.
Wasn't there another Yellow Lantern? Was it
Reverse Flash is on there too?
No.
Bizarro.
Wasn't it like Sinestro?
Bizarro. No. Sinestro. Yeah, it was Sinestro.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like Sinestro was on there too, which I was I would like that. That'd be dope, and he'd work perfectly with the lanterns that just are coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the Jurassic League get debuted and the Masters of Time, I was hoping for all these guys because I started looking into them, and I was kind of let down that we didn't get them.
I think we've been pretty consistent in saying that we're big fans of dinosaurs and comic book dinosaurs, so the more the better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, do you think anybody would say, no, I don't want these to be made?
No. And I want to say that we actually even suggested like bringing them out as Con LEs. So we're taking that one as a win. Joker Zard's a win here, boys.
Keep them rolling.
I mean, hey, any more dinos are always a win versus a loss. So, like you're never gonna get complained on me for that.
Number 2, Thundercats Iconics probably should have been announced on its own as it highly overshadowed both the Flash and Hercules box sets. Do you think HeroClix has hit full speed ahead on releases at the right pace? Too fast or left still wanting more? Do your wallets feel the same? I buy everything, so it really wouldn't have mattered, but it would have been nice for Thundercats to have its own time for a few days, I think, and then announce the other ones separately. But I don't know.
I mean, who knows? Like with the tariff change, maybe that's why they're trying to throw everything out, just so they can try and get it to us before the tariffs hit, because maybe they're already stateside. Like, who knows?
But now everything's getting delayed, so it feels like that we were delayed because of all the shipping things. Then everything was rushed so that it could get out before tariffs, and now everything's getting pushed back again. So I don't think there's like any balance. It's all over the place right now.
Well, we're still waiting on our owlbears.
They got pushed back to August too, and he was supposed to be
July.
out. Yeah, but even before July, I think he was June.
December. It was December before that.
He was? Because he was the last one that was supposed to be released. Was he September?
Yeah, he was supposed to be out in December. His original was December.
Yeah, he kept getting pushed back too, and that's another one I'm waiting for. The Dungeons and Dragons ones have been really cool.
I honestly forgot there's other stuff previewed with Thundercats.
Right? Yeah.
That'll tell you kind of how I felt about it. I was like, oh yeah, there's other things.
That's a property that people have been asking for so long. That's going to be just, I don't know how I don't try to make that work in many games.
Yeah. Definitely going to be, they better have a keyword for the monthly, because I know you're going to put them all on a team. It's happening.
Well, they're probably going to be, they could be out for the named, but also they're probably animals, maybe warriors.
They have to be animal. Yeah.
So, wait, are we talking Thundercats already? Like, wait, they were coming out this year? I thought they were next year.
No, they're next year.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, because I was like, otherwise, like, I need Hercules in the Learning Hydra, because I definitely want to run the.
I know people were complaining about the Hercules price, but it's like, oh, that Hydra, even though it's a 1x2, like that looks like a really big sculpt for a 1x2 and very detailed. So
yeah, I'm down for that. I want to run that thing. I bet you it at least has animal, if not monster, for that thing.
Didn't it also? It has like some kind of mechanic where you can switch the head, right? If it gets cut or you get take damage, then you can multiply its heads or something.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting. I can't wait to see what that thing does.
So, yeah, it looks cool. Yeah.
Dude, I'm just looking forward to being like, yeah, I just killed your piece. Snarf, snarf. So that's all I need.
I need a pog because it's not figures. So just give me a pog of Snarf, Kitten, Cat.
Yeah, we saw all of them that are coming out, or a list of because it's Iconics, right? We saw a list of everyone.
Yeah, the list, yes, Mumra, and then,
I need Mumra to be baller, because that is, like, the sculpt is worthy, and I know that that's him as the ever-living, so, like, that's him.
I wish there was two Mumras. I really do.
Oh, you want the mummy, and you want, like,
that version? Like, to where you're able to, like, swap him.
Switching focus.
I think that would be really cool. Yeah,
I mean that would have been cool. That would have been cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like you get the mummer in a more support version of him when he's all mummified, and then the more like, all right, I'm full power
you
now.
have to give him tokens or whatever before he becomes the
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But only if you stand up and announce. And now in comes Mumra, the ever living.
Mumra.
Now we need Monstar and his sweet space bike that's an octopus.
Yes.
Overhawks.
All right. His third question. We just had X-Men announced as the Marvel 2026 starter set. What are your predictions for the theme for the DC 2026 starter set?
Teen Titans.
I was going to say Teen Titans. Their team ability is the same too, and it's kind of similar to just a little bit of an offshoot of what we've been seeing. Dan, do you think there would be another chance of something else? Because we've seen the main roster of DC people for the first one. Last one was, I think, Supergirl, Blue Beetle, and then it was another Superman, right? And,
yeah, Batman.
And Batman.
And then Wonder Woman?
Was it Wonder Woman or Supergirl in the second one? Wonder Woman was the first
Supergirl
year.
instead of Harley.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Supergirl instead of Harley.
So
it's going to be Atlantis. We're going to get Mara, Aquaman, Lad, Tempest.
I sure hope not.
And we better get Ocean Master then. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, we need Ocean Master and Black Manta.
That's a terrible
we won't have
set.
Aqualad. We'll have Tempest. And Aqua Baby.
There's seriously an Aqua Baby?
Yeah, Black Manta killed him.
That's terrible.
back in the early 70s. That was yeah. DC went dark before Marvel.
They
Killed
went
Aqua Baby.
dark with a
'Cause
character named Aqua Baby.
I mean,
Yeah,
I like
Black Panther murdered Aqua Baby
the whole
He had a
X-Men idea
stupid
for
name.
around the same time as Gwen Stacy.
Well, he
They've
deserved
done
it for having a
Avengers
stupid
stuff
name.
now.
Yes, Death of the Prince. It's a very iconic Aquaman story.
Dan, what were you gonna say?
I like the idea of the X-Men for the starter. That's like a nice swap off from just Avengers. So yeah, I'm curious what they do for the DC equivalent. Yeah, the Teen Titans would be like a good play because it's the same. The team ability is the same, so that's cool. Um, the other thing I'm curious about is, are we going to get another Hellfire Gala?
I want to say there's only one more Hellfire Gala event they did in the comics.
Oh yeah, I know. There was so many like covers.
variant covers,
Yeah, the
yeah.
I
variant
guess,
covers.
yeah,
for that.
realistically, they could just keep pumping them out and going back to any other issue. But I think they still have a full Hellfire event that they did from last year.
Yeah, I remember last year. So that was.
And that's
that was-
usually about 2 years behind is usually when they come out with the storyline. Because it didn't with War of the Realms, didn't that come out like 2 years after the War of the Realms story? And then same thing with X of Swords or Ten of Swords.
I think it was only like a year-ish or so. I don't remember 100%, but it wasn't that long. Maybe it was 2 years. I don't know though.
They could probably still do it. Pete, what do you think about another team for starter set?
I'd be really happy with like classic Teen Titans, or I'd be really happy with Keith Geffin's JLI, Justice League International, because you'd get a good Martian Manhunter. You get a lot of fun pieces. Then you get Fire and Ice and a lot of pieces that we just don't get that often. And Oreo cookies. They weren't called Oreos though. I don't remember. Miles, you remember what they were called?
The
Manhunter
original
loved them.
dials?
Chacos?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they are.
Chacos.
Yeah,
Yes.
they referenced
Yeah.
that in one of the pieces in JLU.
Um,
Right?
Well, no, they have a Chaco Martian Manhunter that's sitting on a throne of Oreos.
Yeah, like he's the old
From Brave and
version.
the
Like,
Bold.
he's old.
Yeah, he's
was
brave
way
and the
before our
bold. It's yeah, he's sitting on a throne of Oreos, and they also have
Yeah, bring that.
an LE that has the Chacos that he makes.
Yep, because he gets real angry otherwise.
Or even like Keith Ostrander's original Suicide Run would be amazing. It's not Keith Ostrander, it's Chris Ostrander. Sorry. Original Suicide Squad run would be amazing too.
Now, Suicide Squad starter set I could get behind.
Yeah.
That would be interesting to do for sure.
Number 4, for the wrestling fans on the D-Gen team, sorry, Dan, which wrestler would you like to see get more of a push, and who would you like to, and who do you think is wasting time during shows and should take a step back? Push, I actually want to see AJ Styles get some good feuds before he retires. But wasting time, I don't know about you guys, but I do not care about Damian Priest, and also the War Raiders can get out of here. I just do not care about their matches.
I do like the War Raiders. So I'm gonna do it as a joke. I want to see Goldberg get more of a push, and I want them to take back with Jey Uso.
Oh,
No.
man.
I want Orange Cassidy to really get more of a push. I think that there's so much more that you can do with that character. And then wasting time, it's got to be Adam Cole, baby. It's just malnourished Shawn Michaels.
That's a good one too.
Wow, I love that. I love that analogy.
It's what it is.
I
Yeah.
know.
If Shawn Michaels would have stayed on the pills, Adam Cole.
Pete, do you have an answer?
I'd really like to see them do stuff with Karrion Kross. I think he's absolutely become a viral sensation. I think he's being wasted completely right now by WWE because he is a hot property.
I agree.
I would like to see a new. I would like to see them put together a trios with Aleister Black, Cross, and Nakamura.
Yeah.
Shinsuke for one more run. I mean, those are just 3 unbelievable athletes, unbelievable strikers. They all kind of play into each other's gimmicks because Shinsuke can do whatever he wants.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that would be super cool. As far as who's kind of wasting their time, man, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. on Damian Priest. He's great in the ring. I don't have much else to say about him other than that, but I don't need to see another Damian Priest match at this point for a good 6 months.
It always looks like his legs are about to buckle, and I just hate that that like sense that he's about to fall all the time. For the non-wrestling fans in the D-Gen team, Dan, this one's for you. Has being part of the D-Gen team and hearing the communities and team's passion for wrestling encourage you to perhaps give it a chance? Would you watch a major event online with the community as a drinks and watch party that we could do on Discord? Dan?
I mean, he acts like I haven't gone to like an official wrestling event already. Like I
Well, we
even
also
haven't
have
I was even
watched
caught
it
on
this
camera doing the golf clap. Like,
Yeah, we took you out there, and then we also have watched plenty of pay-per-views on our
yeah,
Discord.
so, like
That is available to the public on Discord that they can come and join us.
Poor Dan was so like he was stuck between Aaron and I and like this row of like wrestling fans.
what do you?
He was as enthusiastic as he could be, but dude, we had this little girl behind us that was just screaming her brains out the whole time, and Dan kept shooting her an evil eye. It was quite the event.
Mean mugging a little girl.
Not
That's
the evil eye,
right
but
there.
like when he made me deaf the second time, I was like, okay, like I'm so happy you're having an awesome time, but I can't hear out of my left ear now.
Like, I'm gonna ruin this memory for you, little kid.
No,
Dan was mouthing threats to her.
no.
Yeah,
She was
don't act
into
innocent.
it.
No, she was so into it. It was so great to like watch her just have like a complete blast. I just ended up being deaf partially after that. I was like, well, it is what it is. No, but like I was stuck between I would say two people that like if you're gonna go to a wrestling experience, I would want to go with Aaron and Pete every time because they were super into it and like they know what's going on. Like Pete definitely knows what's going on, so it was just. Like, it was a really good time. Like,
Are you
I meant not be like what
Aaron is not definitely knowing what's going on?
Not as much as Pete. There's like levels, okay? Pete is like
just like collector
Yeah,
players.
it's just like how he's behind Howard for collector players.
No, you're not putting words in my mouth, so take that and get out of here.
Oh no, I'm just putting a theoretical
a theoretical what?
theoretical.
Oh. Well, as long as whatever that theoretical statement is does not involve me, I'm cool. So
it's a statement, though. Okay.
Yes, exactly.
We have had live events with the crew. We've also had streaming events. Miles has broken out some classic wrestling matches. Well, you never know what's going on in the cliX Discord. Like you'll just randomly get a night of like Dynamite Kid.
Oh yeah, we went
great.
early 2000s where I used my webcam on my laptop to stream TV.
Now, Dan, have you seen some of the like the brutal bloodbath matches and some of the AEW pay-per-views?
Not yet, I don't think, but I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be there eventually.
I think was that I think Bookwood watched a few of them, didn't he?
The women's championship match between Mariah May and Tony Storm. Bookwood I think he got a little uncomfortable during it because there was a lot of blood in that match.
I saw the pics after.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
God.
Yeah.
Keep up the great work, guys.
Dan does love a good chop, though. He loves a good chop. He likes a chop
that's
fest.
that's the AEW classic now.
Mm-hmm.
Keep up the great work, guys. You're certainly the number one sweatshop. Sorry, I mean HeroClix podcast out there. Thanks, Mark. Rob Peterson, if you could pick a theme for any comic book based set, what would it be and what sub themes would it have? One big one that I would want, and maybe this is cheating, but maybe Invincible. That's more for me watching the show. I'm not sure how much different it is from the comics. But I want to see all the villains, especially Battle Beast. He just got his own comic too, right? I still need to pick that up.
Yeah,
That's a great
the interesting thing about that Invincibles is that the pre-Iconics, when they come out, the Green Lantern Corps and the DC Giants, they had a fan vote, and fans voted for the Invincible box set, and it didn't sell, which was crazy.
Wait, what happened?
So, because there's 29 set, and then we have the Green Lantern core set, with Chip and Nort. It's pretty much pre-Iconics. On HC Realms, there was a fan vote set, and Invincible won, but it didn't sell.
Oh, okay.
So there actually is Invincible in HeroClix.
Yeah, anything
2007.
from that old though, I don't even consider it. Like there's Halo HeroClix too, right? But you can't play them.
Oh no, I was just saying it's crazy that the fans voted for that and it just didn't sell, which makes Invincible is such a great property.
But like just like
Yeah,
me,
that's a
right?
great property.
How many people know him from the show, right? Versus the comics. So I'm sure it would do much better now that the cartoon is huge.
I think it is, yeah.
And you haven't even gotten into some of the really fun villains like Angstrom Levy a ton. You've seen the Mauler twins a little bit on the TV show. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the next coming seasons of Invincible. It's a wonderful comic series. I think that's a pretty good answer, man.
That big lion is Battle Beast, right?
Yeah.
Battle Beast is it. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Invincible was going to be one of my subsets because I'd like to see like an indie volume 2 where we're going to have Image Comics. So you have like a Savage Dragon from Eric Larson. We can finally have our Spawn. So like that's what the subsets would be comics from that. So like Invincible would be a subset from that because you'd have that from was it Guy Something Comics, because Image Comics is like different. It's just a publisher for multiple, comic book makers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd like an indie volume 2. We'd be able to do that.
Yeah, you could have Youngblood, you could have Wetworks, you could have all those.
Yeah. It'd be so cool.
That would be great too. Dude, Spawn and HeroClix, I can't believe that's never happened.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, yeah,
I was gonna say
Todd McFarlane is terrible.
Well, they pulled the
he wanted control and wanted a cloth cape.
And that's fair. Well, but they did pull Angela from that same universe, so it's I guess not impossible.
Well, he lost Angela in a lawsuit to Neil Gaiman.
He did. I'm just stating they both existed in the same universe at one point in time.
Yeah.
Man, there's some really great properties. Astro City would be another one that would be just lend itself to HeroClix. Marvel Man, but that's still all indie stuff. So those are all great ideas.
It's hard for me not to pull like from cartoons and TV shows. But one that just did come to mind is like a full Age of Apocalypse set, and then the sub themes could be like all the teams and variations that got their own book during that time, like Gambit and Externals,
Excalibur.
What about just it's an Exile? That's where it is. It's an Exile set, and then one of the sub themes is Age of Apocalypse.
But there was so many cool people in Age of Apocalypse. You could do a full set just based off Age of Apocalypse. The thing with subsets is that you only get to like cherry pick these little things here and there. And that's what I don't like, because that's why we only have like a chase set of them. There's so many cool people from Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
Abyss is wild. Just a wild
Sugar Man. A new one.
Oh, Sugar Man, yeah.
Oh, can we get an X-Men 2099 set? We probably couldn't do a whole set of that though, right? That could be a sub theme.
2099s.
Oh yeah, how about just a full
2099.
Yeah, so a full 2099 set, and then X-Men are a sub theme from 2099.
Yeah.
There you go.
Age of Apocalypse sub theme to 2099. Be so good. Yeah.
Dude, I think the Exile set's where it's at though. Honestly,
I'd love an Exile
that hits
set.
all of it. You can put whatever way you in there.
Yeah, because it's almost like a what if. Because each issue, or few issues, was a new universe.
You remember the Rogue and Magneto son, right?
Yeah,
Dude,
Magnus.
that guy'd be wild.
Magnus from Age of Apocalypse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we still need him, and Thunderbird still hasn't been made in clicks.
Same with they did the female Nightcrawler. Was that his daughter? What was her name?
Yeah, Nocturne.
Nocturne, yeah.
Nocturne.
Did they make her? Mm-hmm. Or did they?
They did a long time ago. Long time ago.
Like, she's like on a no card even, I think, right? Or did she have a card even?
Yeah,
she was really
old. No, it's the rookie experience veteran of Nocturne.
Okay,
from Supernova. Yeah, trash.
But the horse-looking Thunderbird, we never got.
Because Nocturne could be like when you look at like where Clix is now, like being the daughter of Nightcrawler and Scarlet Witch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, she could be so good and be so fun.
Yeah, that's definitely Nocturne
Dude,
and Thunderbird.
King Hyperion. Yes, please.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yes. You make him a prime.
I guess
No, the Prime is bald.
Mhm.
That's what you do is you make the Prime bald.
What were you gonna say, Dan?
I guess I would take a different spin on this because he did mention like so I read a lot of manga, but I would pick Berserk is a good one. We are getting like D&D related clicks, so like I feel like that fits somewhat in that realm. It probably lean more towards an Iconics or like a classic one to revisit. Like the single base Colossals would be the Evangelion series where you get the giant robots again, like the Pacific Rim guys. So that would be, to me, that'd be kind of neat. And those are what I would consider like classics.
Yeah, giant robots are only slightly behind giant dinosaurs.
I know.
As
They're
long
not
as we
quite
get
the
a
same.
windmill Gundam.
Oh no.
I just Peter's gonna like bring it up anyway, so I might as well just throw it out there. Sorry, Peter brought it up first, so no need to ask us.
Pete, did you have another one?
Robotech would be a good one. I mean, that's kind of off of Dan's manga idea. He had me kind of thinking about Japanese cartoons. No, I'm firmly on board with Exiles. I think that's an absolute banger of a set.
Yeah, they could probably fit a whole set in that.
I don't see why they couldn't. I feel like a lot of people I feel like would want that. I've heard so many things over the years about like, yeah, Exiles, please like do a whole set with this.
Well, every
multiple
time
times.
they like get trickled into sets too, like usually they're pretty, popular characters that people are excited to see. Like Morph from Deadpool Weapon X. I think a lot of people like to see him in there.
I just don't understand much about that series. So
It's a probably like if I'm going to recommend one series to read, like to where you don't need to know anything about anything, you can literally just read Exiles if you just know the basics because they go to different Earths that you never see before. Like there's one where like Captain America's a vampire, and just it's so cool that you can literally just read that and not have to worry about reading any other.
Well, like the one Valkyrie is an exile, and it's more the one from that looks similar to the Thor movie. From Ragnarok. So like I was like, oh, this is cool. Otherwise I don't really follow. I've never really been able to follow Exiles, but that's cool that you can just read it and it is what it is, and it's kind of freestanding.
No, Miles is right. It you can read it by itself, and it rewards longtime readers too. Because it's a lot of times a new take on characters or like a legacy character that they never had in mainstream comics. It's a great series. I think that's absolutely something they should look at.
Yeah, because then we can get Beak, and Redmond loves Beak.
No, that's the one piece that I will not. Do you know what? They would do that, then they would make it a common, and then I would get as many of him as I did of Hawkeye.
Yes.
That would be kind of funny.
I hate Beak so much. All right, then we have William De Roche statement section. I enjoyed the commentary. I thought it made it easier to understand what was going on, and it fills the dead space while players are contemplating their turn. I watched the finals while on the treadmill and still could tell what was going on. Wouldn't have been possible without commentary. That's actually great to know. Thanks, Bill. Question section. So we all know that in the MCU, after the snap was reversed, people end up in the same spot that they were before the snap. Yelena, for example, ended up in the same bathroom she was in 5 years prior, even though a new person was now living there. Does this mean that everyone who got snapped in an airplane came back 20,000 feet in the air? Maybe.
Right?
Maybe flights were grounded, maybe, when that big battle was happening. So maybe not.
I don't know.
No,
I'm gonna be morbid and go they probably popped in to make midair and unfortunately hit the ground. Like,
yeah, but that's a lot better than if you were on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
So
then you're just
saying.
screwed.
Yeah.
That's a little morbid.
I mean, what's worse, falling and then dying, or just trying to stay afloat and slowly dying and potentially drowning over days?
This is really dark. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's probably what happened. Oof.
And then legally required arm wrestling question. Who would win in an arm wrestling match? Hollywood Miles or Real American Hero G.I. Joe Harrison? P.S. Tell the goats I love their work. Oh, and you included a picture of crumbled goat cheese. But you did mention them, Bill.
I'm gonna not.
Nope. Sorry, what was that, Dan?
I'm only gonna knock
just kidding.
5 points for his.
Okay,
Hey,
now
I
go
love
ahead.
that.
I sure hope that he didn't get this goat cheese from Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder.
No, I'm gonna knock 5 points for his choice of where he got the goat cheese from. So.
Oh, I missed that. Where's it
Better,
from?
you can do better than private selection from Kroger,
Well,
sir.
it's goat cheese, so it's Tooth Gnasher and Tooth Grinder can't produce goat cheese.
Huh.
So
Challenge accepted.
and if they do, I mean, okay.
Like the scene from Kingpin. Yeah, I milked your cow out there. It took a while to get it warmed up. We only have a bowl.
Yeah.
I think Asgardian goat cheese would be amazing, though.
That's true. Get us some, Bill.
And the arm wrestling questions would be interesting. If he wants to arm wrestle Hollywood Miles is really arm wrestle Aqua Miles' thing, but real American hero G.I. Joe Harrison will have to dress up as a G.I. Joe to be in this obligated arm wrestling match. You don't just go as yourself. We need the Joe-verse. Yeah, we need the Joe-verse.
I just can't wait for Hollywood Miles to say it doesn't work for him, brother.
Yeah, he has creative control.
I mean,
Yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, Hollywood Miles and Joe go to arm wrestle. If Joe's not dressed as a G.I. Joe, Hollywood Miles will say, yeah, it doesn't work for me, brother, and he'll walk off the stream.
It's not hot.
Nope.
I think this just gives
There's no
Joe...
Hulkamaniacs here.
This is just another chance for Joe to come in second place in an event.
Oh man.
Oh.
Going to Damian Davis. What team did you play against that you found most challenging, and did you find any team unique? I like the uniqueness that we saw on the field in general. It was pretty broad. I think that there's a couple fixes that need to happen to bring the fun back again, but I think overall this is the event that we saw the most unique builds in. In silver, Joe's strategy with the cannon event with Arachnite that we went over before with like the rival and trick arrows, that was pretty challenging to counter because like once Arachnite's there, you can't do anything to him. So that was probably one of the more challenging ones in silver. Then modern, trying to just get a plan for the Doom and Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk team from Marcus. That was an interesting one too. So it was challenging in a good way though. You know, it's just like about the timing, and it wasn't like it wasn't frustrating any of it. It was just more, what do I do with these new pieces that you don't see that much, which is great. What did you guys think was your most unique build that you saw over the weekend for modern and for silver?
So modern, it's gonna be, I guess, in one of the side events, and that was Reggie's Apocalypse team with full point Steppenwolf. Because the stream was there was a lot of the same. You saw spot teams. There was the pass teams, which is really cool. But like, there's only one pass player. Let's be honest, and that's John Michael Jr.
True.
So yeah, so I got to go with that. Yeah, Reggie's Steppenwolf team. I think when we were watching it, and even like during the commentary, Calder and Alec, like that team is so close that you could tell that there's something there. It was great to see like Colossus could come and try and mind control Steppenwolf, and you're like, yeah, no, you're gonna go ahead and mind control my Parademon.
I love that. Actually, that's fantastic.
Amazing. Or Pulse Wave, and a Parademon's out of it, and you go, nope, now Parademon's the only target, and guess what? He has his powers. So go ahead, I'm gonna roll it. Yeah.
Wait, does that actually work?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they shut their power off.
Well, because it
and
comes
then
from
they
the
attack.
Parademon. It comes from the Parademon, right? Not the person being targeted, right?
Yeah, so the Parademon has his powers because you're moved after he already shut off powers. It's already the attack phase.
Oh, that's utter nonsense.
It's when they would be hit by an attack. So the powers that it's already past that phase. So now, you need precision strike in order to even deal damage. The mind control one is just hilarious. Because you're like, yeah, no, Colossus, no, sorry, you're not going to mind control.
You're going to mind control the Parademon.
Yeah.
As far as man, as far as like modern teams, that's tough. Because there's just, I know Alex didn't do that well with as well as he wanted to do. He was 4-2, but I like the Kamo and Friends. Like that's very interesting. It's just a lot of
he was 4-1 after Swiss. So
yeah.
He just had a bad matchup in Cut.
I was thinking more points wise than like he placed well. I was thinking more about his point scoring. So.
Yeah, that was just but like I think that's exactly what happened. Is everyone was scared, and so that meant that he had to put in extra work with Cyborg Superman. Because you're not going to throw out Kamo because it's just you're like, I'm not going to do that just to try and get points. If you want to do that, then I guess Cyborg Superman's just going to pick through you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you've seen Camo before, you have like a way of knowing how he's going to interact with you, and so making Camo defense is not how you would expect him to be played. And then no one has played Cyborg Superman, so you really don't know what to expect there either.
He's been playing him for a while.
I kind of like the whole, you have to come to me now, and then you have this big shark sitting here. Like I actually kind of like.
No,
that
that's really cool. Yeah.
It's another take on the attack from across the map. But it's.
But you're giving up 30 points to do it, so I'm like, there's a big trade-off there.
Yeah, you want to get Camo on there because there is a way to get it to where you're giving up only 5. But is Bat Prince worth playing? It's
no.
Bat Prince or Camo. It's
apples and oranges.
Yeah,
that was a good play. Pete, any unique build from the weekend that you had?
I would have liked to have seen Pat's team play out, but I mean he ran into a Beetlejuice, so you didn't even get to see what the team did.
Right.
So I just would have liked to have seen it. It's just a really different build from a great player. Mm-hmm. So I would have really liked to have actually watched it go.
Yeah, I think it could have been really, really good too. Or like, Pat plays very well, so I would think that team would have done like even better had he been able to play it out.
Yeah, I don't think he got on camera, did he? Was he on any streams?
I don't recall him seeing him.
That would have been worth getting him on one of them. Then we have Emily. Love that there was coverage for the event. Helped with the FOMO of not being there and could hang out with y'all remotely. Appreciated the double streaming of the event, of the modern event, to see how teams are getting played and the choices getting made. I think more of a balance on the commentary to either hear the players a bit more or more of a play-by-play style to help understand what's happening. Definitely a great first go of it. Thanks, Emily. Highlighting a few of the rules things I heard about between watching and talking to people there. Can you go into them and share any others you heard? Multi-base characters carrying a phone booth can use the phone booth effect. That one we did talk about. Figures with optional instead of KO effects as butterfly options. Death Metal, Wonder Woman, or Freya can't use it on themselves and must go back into non-optional butterfly when KO'd. Was that butterfly thing ruled on actually?
No, I don't think so. But that should be how it works because butterflies is non-optional versus.
True, yes, that means that the Death Metal Wonder Woman butterfly thing has been being played wrong for an entire year.
Because somebody actually brought up to me the thing with Freya and said that it worked.
No, because I'd have to see Freya's wording. I don't think she's non-optional. It's a May.
Is Freya May? That's
the. Yeah, so she is because you can choose not to bring her in. Remember, or you can choose not to reset her.
Yep.
Can't you?
So and butterflies is not a you may. It's a required. So you have to do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's when the character will be KO'd, instead replace it with butterfly on click 1. Yep. So there's no choice. It's just you have to.
Wouldn't you get to choose if she is KO'd though by doing her May thing first?
You may. No, so you have to do the required. It's the same reason why. When you have two options, if it's a you may or you have to
have the choice. Yep.
It's not like so it's not like when you would be hit, you roll super senses. So like this, you would be KO'd, so you can choose to do this before you are KO'd. Because this says when she would be KO'd.
No.
It says you may. Butterflies is just you. So when they would be KO'd, you have to. So there is no you may.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
have to.
The butterflies
And they're both at the
overrides
same time. They both say
Yeah.
would be KO'd.
Yes.
Yes. And then the only difference is that Butterfly says instead, and then replace them. Death Metal and Freya say instead you may.
Okay.
So you're doing the required instead of the optional.
That's unfortunate for that then, because I thought that was a cool interaction with Freya and Butterfly.
I will give a shout out to Az for actually playing the Chase Thor from Smash and Destroy and having some interesting tech with it. So that was pretty cool to see. I just looked over his team as we were looking over everything.
That would have been a cool one to get on stream too and see that one interact with different builds. All right, then we have Matthew Vanderloop. With Spirit of Vengeance, Red Hulk having a fairly high meta ranking and a high win percentage, did you think there are any issues with the legacy piece? Did you have any bad interactions with it? Do you think it will get an errata? And if so, should I trade or sell it before it gets nerfed? I think it's honestly just a really good example of an awesome legacy figure. The really only issue that he has is that they're not unique, but there's enough counters that it's just a strong piece. Then you have to counter it.
Yeah, it's just a good piece. That's it. It's just a good 125 point piece.
They literally make it to where you have to use choose pilots with different names. He still is at the top. Like it's just how it is. It's not even. You can say it's a nerf, but then again, it's also not. Because it's like that's how it's intended to play. And he's still just extremely strong. I mean, bringing out a Beholder for a turn, and then what you also have the Thanos. Another interesting piece that was looking at is the Ultimate Hulk by the brick figure.
Oh yeah,
that's an insane piece to come out for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a 12-5 or something like that. Top.
Yeah, with
that,
flurry.
With flurry. And if he hits you, I think you can't use.
No stop.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the only thing is that you're not going to have a damage power, but whatever. I mean, I think it's worth it to get him out. I mean, 12, 13, 25 with flurry, steal energy, and then they exploit weakness, and when he hits, they can't use stop or heal, which is very important. And then impervious 20.
I think it just honestly makes him a lot cooler of a piece too, because you're going to see a lot more creativity than just let's put all 4 of this piece on there, or 2 of one and 2 of another.
That's why I really like the pilot mechanic. Like he's another good example of like you make a good piece and then you put the pilot mechanic on it, and you can do creative stuff like this where you pop out a piece that you're like, oh well, how do I deal with that now?
Mm-hmm.
Matt, we never get rid of pieces.
That's true, actually.
That's another rule.
You should know that.
We don't. There's none of this trading away or selling. Not unless you have multiples. That's fine then.
That's different, yeah.
Always have one of everything.
I can't go that far, but I will recommend if you buy something, I would recommend you keep it unless you have multiples.
Then we have John Michael DeGiulio. What is proper mimic etiquette? At what point in an action is it too late for someone to reverse course on picking up an object? I always tell my opponent that I have mimic before they want to commit to picking it up, for what it's worth, but curious to hear what the consensus is. So when your opponent is picking up terrain and could trigger mimic, just like you, I always say, I do have mimic. Are you sure you want to pick it up? And then if they say yes, then I say, okay, I'm rolling for mimic or not, which I, in the past, have never actually rolled for my mimic until this last event. But
really?
Yeah, I just never have done it. The worst
but
thing
now it's just so easy to manipulate. So I don't even know how I'm playing.
I love that new ruling, honestly.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
Parts of it that I'm like, I understand why it works the way it works. There's parts of it where it's just mildly frustrating from like a game state perspective of just like, oh, that's just flat out illegal. Okay.
Yeah, but look at like for like collector, if you're trying to give them an equipment, you're like, no, you're not gonna. Yeah, you're stopping there. I'm gonna bring the mimic out right here and destroy that equipment before you have it equipped. Like Primal's is gonna give them it.
I was gonna say, can you? Because like I think the big trick with that is Elsa, right? So she can still do that just fine, right?
Yeah, she'll give them the free, but no, it's when a character would be equipped.
Oh yeah.
So mimic. So you're able to roll mimic there.
The worst thing a player can do though is when you say you're picking up terrain and then they just say mimic and then they roll the d20 as fast as they can, similar to the shape change stuff before you can actually like decide on something. But once you've kind of like shown your cards though, and if you start moving after you pick it up, it's kind of hard to go back and say, oh wait, now I want to roll for mimic, because you kind of see where they're gonna go. That might change if you wanted to do it or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a little bit of a harder one, because usually the rule for me at least is if no dice have rolled, and the game state hasn't changed, it's not really a big deal. But mimic's a weird piece, and so you, depending on where they're going to go or put the piece that's picking something up, you may or may not want to call them in. So the game state does kind of change.
I also love to forget I have a mimic. I think I rolled him one time. And I don't even think he came out. Like, I think I got the one number where he couldn't do anything, and I was like, well, that was great. At least I remembered it.
You
rolled a one.
I hope you rolled a 1. Did you KO him?
D20?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
And then I was like, I don't even know why I bother with these pieces sometimes.
See, I've had the
That's
opposite
bad.
happen, and I'm just ecstatic. So I'm like, all right, I have this thing, and you can't touch it either. This is great.
That sounds like Pete. Yeah, you roll a 1 on a d6, and like even when your chances are like even less, you still roll it.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened, and it was like literally the only time I've ever remembered him. And so he just sits there hoping somebody chair panthers him. I don't know what else he's there for.
Then we have Michael Donicht. How do you guys think we can fix the advantages of first player due to maps being mostly irrelevant for alpha strikes? I think more effects like the barrel to prevent alpha strikes are good. What about you guys?
I think that's about it. And then and this also goes on to the players' team building. A lot of people just play for the alpha. They don't build for how they could survive an alpha. And so I think that's also, you got to also put into consideration. It's like, how does your team survive? Because if you're going second, that means that you picked map. So that's now on you to pick the right map against your opponent and to know how to deal with an alpha strike.
So we do need more maps like Brock's Bunker, then, is what you're saying, which I agree with.
I will say that they're good defensive maps. Not necessarily do they all have to be indoors, but yes, you do need good defensive maps in order to go second. Going second is as much of a skill as being able to alpha somebody. And I'm wholeheartedly, I can admit that I am not the best player going second. So like,
I build my teams to go second. If I go first, okay, I have a strategy, but like I build my team specifically. Okay, what maps? Okay, what am I gonna do on this map? And so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put you on this map.
Man, this is gonna hurt to say. You need pieces like the barrel.
Yeah.
You just do. I mean,
Yeah, that's like gonna be the first piece to never retire. And I'm glad that WizKids has decided to listen to us.
I mean, so it's an on-the-board game element. You pay for it into your build, right? Or you pay to bring it in like Black Beetle or something. And it's just super important. Now, should it be 4 squares? Probably not on a small map. The other thing, too, with Alpha Strikes being so prevalent right now, like Rivalry, that's a messy 5 points.
Oh, that's rough.
Going back to the barrel though, when that does rotate, even if it's from the effects of equipment or characters or something like that, like that's fine as long as we have some kind of effect to stop the improved movement like that, because that's what usually you're doing with an alpha strike, right? I will say for silver, unbanning the barrel would help quite a bit.
Yep. Yeah.
Dan, what are your thoughts on unbanning the barrel in silver?
Let the barrel be great.
Dan, are you there?
Yeah,
No,
I'm trying to give a good nuanced answer here, because the barrel is a double-edged sword. The barrel does good defensive options like that, but then there are also things where it makes like the heavy barrier tech very oppressive. So,
but silver has ways to deal with those very easily compared to modern.
I understand that. So it's just something where you would need to like be aware of what it is, because
double, triple barrier with that and those kind of shenanigans where it's very hard to deal with, is especially with big maps too. Like most teams, as we saw, ran a lot of the same stuff, but they could get cross map because you had old stats and values. So um, it's like silver's a different animal. So like I understand the barrels like positives, but I still feel like there's a double edge there that people have to be aware of. And but yeah, yeah, and I also we need more things that can allow you that kind of defense where you're not just, especially with, I mean, well, if Ravelry gets the Amit's Tomb treatment, that's gonna slow down the alpha quite a lot because you gotta still hit then, and that's hard to do when you don't auto hit. So
Well, they do have that Ant-Man too that gives everybody improved movement and ignore blocking
yeah,
or outdoor blocking. But yeah, that's
I know, but
yeah,
you're just paying a lot more points for something like that. Like what is it, 30 at least?
I guess you just play Plastic Man in silver. Like, is that just the thing?
I guess.
Yeah, you can play him in silver. Yep. I mean, he's only 20 points. That's not bad. So
Bottom line, it
especially
just
in
needs
silver.
to be something with like a smaller radius, and it's good for the game. It's just a little big right now.
Yeah, especially with if you pick it up with a 2x2 because it's an object,
Yeah.
or make it a
Yeah,
thing where make it where it's a terrain. It's a terrain object or it's effect terrain, just like everything else. Then you have to have super strength to pick it up.
Yeah, that'd be fun
All right.
too. Also,
Yeah, I think that'd be a
oh,
good fix actually, because a lot of times without needing super strength, like there's a lot of times the barrel just comes with whatever I'm doing, and then it's on top of someone, and I'm like, you can't do that. You can't do that.
It's so
you can't
good.
do that.
Yeah.
No more,
Yeah.
no more 10-point Daredevil picking it up or a 10-point
Yeah.
Pog or something.
Yeah, no,
Daredevil's my
I do it with my
favorite.
butterfly. So
Oh
Shocker.
man, 10-point Daredevil carrying that crap around has cost me so many times.
oh, that one world. Barrel Daredevil is realistically why Dylan won worlds.
Also, ways to encourage faster play. Getting 2 turns with multiple man is just not enough to get it done. Yeah, that's tricky. It's really hard to balance allowing time and calling a judge in some of the games. I don't know how to encourage faster play.
I will be a proponent of if you think you're being slow played, just call the judge. As a judge myself, like, look, it's not on you to determine that. Like, that is not you going after the player or anything like that. It's just you want to have consistent game state. So, like, you know,
There's no reason to have 2 turns on a 16 by 16 map in
Exactly.
55 minutes. There's no excuse.
You know, I'm not saying this is the solution, but you could always just go with, "Are you done? Are 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 you
That's
done?" And just
kind
keep doing that the whole time.
Kind of what I was
Okay,
actually
yeah.
thinking too, but it's
That could actually, yeah, because there's quite a lot of slow players. I mean, I like that strategy. I think that's probably better because like that will get them frustrated, and then they're gonna, I like it.
All right, then we have Peter Marshfield. It was awesome getting to see Ravage and Little Ravage at Origins. Miss seeing the rest of you guys, but I get life can get in the way of cliX. Hope to see you guys at another event soon. Nice to see you at cliX too. Oh, we did get to try some of his jerky too, and it was very good.
Nice.
A few things for all of you, a few things for you all. Is anyone else disappointed as I am now on how my performance ended at both silver and modern? I can officially say that my dice are awful, and it's now recorded on stream twice. Any suggestions on what I could have done differently? Better dice, burn them, make an offering to the dice gods? If so, what is acceptable? Maybe just pack more prob?
I mean, I think that the answer is obvious. Pop dice.
I hate those things so much.
I'm gonna go with Dice Cup.
Oh, not
man.
sacrificing goats.
I mean, that just comes with the territory, but you know, everybody just thinks it's the cup for some reason. That's the magic and not me.
Well, you got to prove them wrong. You got to use no cup. And
I
prove
have
that.
multiple times. They've seen me still hit it with just nothing, and it's just me.
I would like
Hold on,
to
we have to
follow
consult
that
the
up.
goats. Yeah. They didn't like the sacrifice thing.
It's never you guys. They're always worried it's gonna be them, and it's never them.
Yeah. Peter, I watched the match. It was like watching me play. It was just like all reasonable numbers, and I was just like, man, Peter is just he's having the Pete day, and there's nothing he can do. You can switch dice. You can.
Yeah, you can do it all you want. Yeah, you're still gonna roll like crap. I think it's
Sometimes I just try to. I try to
why
set
I'm-
my dice next to Dan, like just
Oh, that's a good
like
idea.
Peter's Aurora to go onto him. But yeah,
Pop dice. That's the answer.
Thoughts on the
can we
rules?
do pop dice and a dice cup? Like, can we make that
How
happen?
does that
Miles?
even work?
Like,
I don't know,
I don't know,
but I
that's
mean,
what
look
we're
at
talking about.
Bookwood. Look at Bookwood before Pop Dice and Bookwood after.
that's true.
I don't like that.
If you
actually.
want one endorsement of pop dice, it's Bookwood.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the rules interaction about Mimic for multi-base characters and the optional illegal game state and the mandatory legal game state. To clarify, this is a scenario where you move to pick up an object terrain, and because it's a multi-base character, if they can't legally end their movement, my opponent can't roll for the optional effect of Mimic. Yeah, it's even without being a multi. They can just be a single base too. Same thing. I actually like it a lot. Now I actually don't feel obligated to choose Beetlejuice and Mimic with Chair Panther, so I can choose one of the other broken sideline elements like Cannon Event. Did you guys want to add anything else to that interaction?
No,
I mean, that makes me intrigued as to what to put on my sideline now. So it's like, do I just throw 3 one-shots on my sideline to make sure, all right, I don't have that, but, well, it's fine.
Man, Mimic's still going on the sideline to do nothing for me.
Oh, yeah.
Just be completely forgotten about. Yeah, just sitting there.
Similarly, we know that the barrel is applied to all squares when held by a character. However, did you know that effects like the phone booth allow you to select the square of a multi-base character to apply the effect from, thus allowing Kong to hold the phone booth and get shape change himself? Final question. Given what we've seen thus far, if anyone else disappointed in the standing at the bus stop poses in Lantern Legacy? We actually learned a lot this weekend, and that was another one that we went over earlier with the phone booth in Kong. I have not been able to check out as much of Lantern Legacy as I've wanted to. Are there a lot of weak poses?
In the lower rarities, especially because they did a couple. They did like the Smash and Destroy where they have like, is it Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner have like 6 iterations because they have them all as the different lantern colors. Because Kyle and Hal have all wielded pretty much, I think, every ring at one point or another during their respective like history.
Oh, okay.
So I don't really see it as that. They're not all that bad, and then there's like some sculpts that are really baller. So I don't think that it's that bad, but
No, you know what? I will take these nice, just standard sculpts, just like with Absorbing Man, because like the sculpts are gorgeous and they're great. Like even if the it's not like a dynamic pose, like the sculpt's quality is still a lot higher than we had 4 years ago, and I'll take that.
The color looks really good on this set so far. Like the colors they use.
I don't ever like look at a piece and I'm like, wow, I really hate that sculpt. Like I get really excited about dynamic sculpts and super cool sculpts, but there's nothing that's going to turn me off from it. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. So
I think the biggest thing that I agree with Pete for the most part there. The biggest thing is a piece like Constrictor where like they have like tendrils and it could be so much cooler and it's just kind of just laying at your side there, but you know, they don't always have to be doing something crazy. Huh?
Yeah. That's also super rare. These pieces are commons and everything. And that's where I'm totally fine with it. I think higher rarity pieces are decent sculpt.
I was gonna say even Kilowog that's a rare looks amazing. Like his sculpt is awesome.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it looks pretty
details
cool so far. Matthew Gronhide, are you contractually obligated to answer every listener question, even if one person asks 50 questions? Actually, Miles, Dan, and Pete are. I got that in writing at Worlds. They thought I was joking, but I was not, and I remind them with screenshots of their signatures on the contract.
Yeah, in my defense, and Pete's, I'm pretty sure Dan was too, we were trashed. This was like at 11 p.m. At Worlds, and we were under the influence. Not Kenny level, but we were close.
I was wondering why he had me sign it in blood. I was wondering, I was like, oh, what is this going on? I thought it was, I thought we were doing the whole sacrifice thing, and it was like, nope, it was completely something else, and he got me there somehow.
And Dan's is even in blood.
Yep.
Dan actually signs everything in blood. Yeah, here's the thing. Redmond got one over on us, but what he doesn't realize is that I do what I always do when I sign important contracts, and I just signed Ryan Redmond. So.
Going to redefining retro. Will WizKids ever put in the work to make Pulp a more frequent event at large venues? If it doesn't happen by Worlds, I think Pulp might actually be dead. Maybe just the main focus is getting Silver to the best place it can be, and then they can shift focus to Pulp. But yeah, I'm not even sure we have room for any other events outside of Worlds for Pulp events, just depending on how many days you go. Like, how would you fit a Pulp event in at Origins here,
Well, and it's tough too because Pulp is a solved format. Like, realistically, when you look at the last two Worlds, look at the top teams.
Yeah.
Like, it's what it is.
It needs the attention that Silver's getting, right? It could easily be better.
It could be better, yeah. It's one of those where it's like I don't enjoy it as much because it's like it's not like it's not a fun format. It can be fun. I just
game.
like all the interactions. I like
overpowered figures.
Yeah, there definitely is. I mean, you prove that like factually with just being like, I'm gonna play 200 points and not even care about my other 100 points of my team. Like, it does not matter. That's all I gotta play is this one piece. That's it.
Yeah, I should not have got 4 wins with 200 points of my team being trash.
Yeah.
I just no.
Lady Mastermind.
Hey, you know what?
And Simon Garth.
Yep. Mastermind Simon Garth. Winning record at Worlds.
Pete, what were you going to say?
I mean, I would rather see the effort go into making Silver better and more visible at WizKids events, but listen, if Pulp's not a thing, we can have the After Hours Degeneration Clix Invitational around the pool. Pulp. If anybody can beat Miles, that's how you win.
Yes.
It's just a gauntlet right by right poolside.
Yeah, Miles just plays game after game after game of Pulp.
Yeah, just
straight banging down heaters the whole time too.
Oh yeah.
I'll be drinking orange juice the whole time with Pulp.
Oh god.
Do my mimosa. Another one.
All right, going to Ash Roman Saul. Truly enjoyed the live coverage between you guys and Dial H and HeroClix USA. I enjoyed the top-down angle to see as much of the map and figures as possible. I enjoyed commentary since it's not always easy to hear everything from the players. My only criticism is there were times when commentary was happening while players were declaring certain actions, and I was unable to hear what happened or what was said. Yeah, that's, I think, going to be the hardest thing to balance, but it should get a little bit better as time goes on if we keep doing it.
Yeah, learning curve. I mean, for the first time doing it, I think that it was a huge success. When you look at the pros and the pros outweighed the cons completely and showed that, with practice, that it's definitely viable and can really, really make the game you're watching for the viewer at home that much better.
Which is good to hear.
And I want to apologize to Alec Muser for not mentioning him specifically. He was a huge part of the weekend and a huge part of the enjoyment on stream and everything else. You guys just all did a great job, Alec. I sincerely apologize for not bringing up your name specifically earlier.
Oh, you did it on purpose. I get it. That's fine. No.
Yeah, the three of us had a blast all weekend.
Yeah, the commentary also brings an interesting dynamic for people that, might be interested in it because, it might just come up on the algorithm for some reason. And like when you don't know what the heck's going on, you're just lost. And with that commentary, like it's not easy, but it's easier to really, when you're explaining some things. And then they can also interact with questions if they, So I think it actually is like new player friendly for streaming, because if you're new to the game and you're trying to learn strategy watching games, like that commentary just adds that dynamic to help you.
And I will say
Well,
the people
and
that
it made it enjoyable.
were writing in the chat or whatever, the live chat, that was actually very fun to go back and forth with people too. So definitely join in. What was that, Pete?
Yeah. No, it just made it super enjoyable because there are sometimes there's just a natural lull in the game, like somebody's not counting the same 7 squares 20 times. Like, so they're thinking and like just sitting there and not hearing anything. Like you guys did awesome. Like the commentary, I think was much more win than loss. You know.
Oh,
So
definitely.
you'll get better. Absolutely get better.
Yeah, it makes me want to work it into more events, honestly. Lastly, what are your guys' thoughts on weird interactions during the event, such as people rolling for impervious before super senses, or when a player was attacking, they would roll their dice without giving another player the chance to roll shape change, which would end up being rolled after the attacking player. Yeah, well, first, that's something you can't even do. So super senses has to come first to determine if you were hit, then impervious to reduce the damage. So if you already roll impervious, you're saying you've been hit, and super senses shouldn't even be rolled. So I don't know how both players were letting that slide in at least one of the events.
So right there, so if you're rolling impervious, you missed a trigger for super senses.
Right.
Super
Yeah.
senses says when the character would be hit, you may roll a d6. So if you roll impervious before senses, you don't get to roll senses because it's a you may. So same thing with So if people say they're rolling for impervious, then they don't get that super sense roll, because that's how the game actually works. Is that it's not that you missed a trigger, you decide not to forego. You decide to just go straight to impervious.
Right.
So no super senses if impervious is rolled first. That is how that should be rolled.
Now I will say I
Because
do.
dice have been rolled.
Right. I always, when that happens though, I do always say for sure and clarify that they can't continue to do that. So to try to kind of keep the game state good, I don't just
you can allow a mistake, but just it's like sorry to get. I guess we could also say, you sure about that? When they say they're gonna roll for impervious and they have senses.
The shape change thing though, that's a huge pet peeve of mine. I hate when like like you declare an attack and roll dice before acknowledging there's like you haven't for sure said, like you're kind of like 85% going to go with that, and then it's just like shape change, and then they or maybe you wanted to like declare a second target with a second bolt, and it's just like you're not getting the chance to for sure make your choice, and then you see what the dice rolls. So that is one of my big things that I hate the most. But if nothing is affected, then it's always fine to just go back and roll the shape change, I feel like. Especially if it was the offensive player that made him miss that.
Yeah, the impervious super sensitive is a different interaction. And if they're rolling impervious first, they need to learn order of operations, because once you roll impervious, super sensitive is negated.
All right, this one is long. So Joseph Coleman Harrison. Well, Redman, I held up my end of the bargain. Miles wasn't there to be in the chip match with me, so no intimate pop dice stare. And you just choked, I guess. Come on, bro. I wanted another chance to show you there's no luck in here, baby. Just blessed. Going first in silver was rough, but I'll catch you next time, Joe. Love coverage, 8 out of 10. Hilarious and very knowledgeable players. Commenting is always great. A lot of people said that they couldn't hear the players talk much, so might want to bump up the player mics on stream in the next one. The player convo explains the game on its own a lot of times, but the commentary is still awesome and crisp, so well done. We need some more camera angles like Dial H had for Pat Frazier versus Zane Gates 2 worlds ago. That video was clean, which I know that maybe wasn't live streamed at that point. I don't know, but whoever did that video is a legend. I've watched that match just for enjoyment like 10 times. If the latter isn't achievable, then never mind. I like the overhead pretty good, and it was nice having Redman do the other view. Also put some respect on 048's name for all the haters out there. Ghost Rider, best piece in the game, and don't come at me or you'll catch these hands, in a friendly way on the HeroClix table. Don't give Colossus all the credit either. Rider is like the glue, and Colossus is like the wood. And Aaron Morgan for putting a great silver event on. Hope to see it at Worlds, man. Such a blast. Redman, try not to be blown up on me on turn 1 next game. Cannon event is balanced. Get good, son. Man, Joe, I can't pull the trigger on just playing the broken interaction combos like the Cannon Event, Trick Arrow, Rivalry, all that stuff all in one. I can't do it.
Yeah, he just doesn't have the heel turn. He's babyface Hulk Hogan. That's what he is. That's what he is. You know?
Man, Ribbon, you start to sound like me. Oh, I can't play the broken interactions and stuff.
It's too
I
much.
don't think we've ever said 048 Ghost Rider was bad.
I was gonna say, yeah, I don't think we've ever said he was bad.
Az is very vocal on how bad he was. I heard many times from him this weekend how bad he was.
Who did?
Az. I feel like he's proven himself on many teams that he's a good piece.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, very hot take maybe, main force juice I actually like now. Too many broken things like spot. Main force juice is fine. Sideline juice, nerf into oblivion or give it the Amets treatment. I just loved seeing the pieces playable like Moreland in Top Freaking 4 because of main force juice. If your team is literally dog poo poo without freeze, switch it up. Just starting taking a couple freeze out here and there. If juice wasn't around this weekend, toxic spot poison no roll teams win, and that's also not a fun experience. See, Spot has a counter in the barrel and, just the placement of the figures. You do need to know what he does. I think that's the biggest thing is when people kind of get caught off guard by him. Your team was just the least affected by him, I feel like. The game is built around free actions, so this event is honestly kind of a make or break moment. If we don't see changes, I think you honestly say goodbye to a lot of different builds you saw this weekend because it's only going to be main force juice or the team that you played until we see some fixes. That's what the Champion Clix Open is probably going to be.
Well, and I think we can just say Scott Steiner. We can quote Scott Steiner where it says, the numbers don't lie, and it spells disaster for majority of those teams. 18, so 18-0 against everyone but you and Isaac. So I think that has a lot to go with it as well.
And then he says, main force juice is good. Sideline needs to go immediately. Nerf Cannon Event, WizKids, please. Just make it opposing effects, and it's still good but not broken. Red Hulk Rider Legacy doesn't need to be nerfed into oblivion. Make his pilots all have a different name, and that's fine, or just make them unique or something. He's totally fine. I proved it. If you say otherwise, run an elevated. He's a fun piece, amazing sculpt, and unique ability. That we do agree on, and the Cannon Event thing. All right, I could
go ahead, run your elevated. Black Beetle says no.
Black Beetle is the new meta.
Yeah.
All right, I could continue with the book, but I'll stop. Miles, send me some of those pop dice, man. I've been reconsidering lately. Also, Ryan, Kenny sent a hit out on your head. That's why I dogged you in silver. Message received, Manny Kinks. Well, he can't do it himself, so he definitely needs to hire it out. So that checks out.
Man, I hope he paid, Joe. That's all I got to say. I hope he paid because, man, otherwise he got that for cheap.
Kenny does pay his bets.
He said that. Don't worry, Dan will send you the 15 he owes me. That's what he said.
Then we have Charles Constant. Awesome work with the streaming and coverage. Thanks, Charles. Now that Nationals is over, how confident do you feel that Keaton will get an errata? Well, all three of the three that were played made it to top 4. So hopefully that finally showed that he is a problem and something is done before Worlds. Before Champion Clix Open, though, those regionals, that would be even better because now we're going to be just seeing those replicated Beetlejuice main force teams or the direct counter that Joe beat him with. And I think that's honestly going to be a big issue for those events.
See, I don't think that the Joe team specifically counters it. I think it's Joe specifically. I think it's the pilot. Honestly.
Well, which he's great with that team, right? But that team is strong against that team, and people really don't.
Oh, absolutely.
People don't really care. They're going to look at HC units. Yeah. They're going to either build what won or build what countered it or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're going to see Joe's team try and play it and just do horribly, and it's
and they'll do worse. And they maybe won't even be able to beat the Beetlejuice teams. Yeah. But Joe's been practicing with those teams for a while, so not to take anything away from him. But that's really that's what you're going to see is people are going to go on HC units, take it to their local Champion Clix Open regionals, and that's what you're going to see is main force Juice or Joe's team.
See, I'm not optimistic they're going to do anything with Juice. I'm really not.
Yeah, I'm less confident now because of the fact of they made a statement about they made a statement about the watch list, right? That they were just gonna make a decision or they were not gonna do anything. So I am like much less confident now that we've had nationals and basically nothing was said all week. I know their cutoff was next week, right? Was the third?
Yeah.
Was like the day they have to make a decision. I'm super like not confident.
And it
that
sounds
anything
like
will be
they
done.
watch listed the watch list, not thinking they need to watch.
Yeah,
From
so
that.
I'm not confident at all that anything will actually be done. I think we're the all of the nonsense is here to stay, and I'm not about that.
Yeah, no, I just
agree.
came up with ideas just for conversation piece.
I agree with Dan. I don't think there's going to be anything that comes down. I really don't. I think they've been pretty hesitant to adjust Iconics after Kong, and I don't think that the people that see Juice is a problem. I think if anything, they're going to look at it and say, "Oh, look, like you had 3 teams that people can just buy for $20 in the top, of an event, so that's great."
But last year they made that change to Kong, and I feel at least that is what saved Worlds after Gen Con. So that was the big cutoff when you saw that shift.
Yeah, no, that saved Worlds.
So I'm not super confident it happens before Champion Clix, but the regionals. But it's got to happen before Worlds. Otherwise, it's going to be rough.
I'm hesitantly optimistic about it happening. Period. I'd love to see it happen, but like I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't.
I think the only way that does happen is if you have what you've talked about is like you have either Joe's team or Beetlejuice teams just dominate the champion clicks. Then I think you might get something.
But we have to stop letting events be ruined by things before they get addressed.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
There's still not enough events
Absolutely
for that to be a thing.
So if you don't address these things, that's more of a chance that you just have people say, well, I'm good until this is, out of modern, or this is, what am I doing? Like, why? I don't want to play this version of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not good either, but they're obviously not being proactive, they're being reactive, or at least that's how it appears right now. I'm not trying to make a very what's the word? Hyperbolic statement, but that's just with them ducking the watch lists and being like, hey, we know we talked about it, but we'll make a final decision in 3 weeks. I don't know. That just seems like they're being more reactive instead of proactive. And I feel like for game balance, you need to be proactive. You can't, especially with how much information we have access to now. AC units is a plethora of information and data you could pull from to say, look, here's the info. This is what's dominant, and you can't tell me that all these things interacting is healthy. So,
no, the numbers are ridiculous that I went over earlier. That just shows you that there's nothing that says that should be okay.
There has been enough reasonable solutions offered from a lot of people that love the game and are very smart in how they make decisions for all these things. So you just got to pick the one that they're comfortable with, and it doesn't mean you can't play the figure. It just means it should not be what it is right now, or the one shots, or any of that stuff, except for rivalry. Man, there's no way to fix that mess.
Nah, just that needs to go the way of Amit's tomb. That's fine. It's the whole this is a dice game. Why are we taking the dice out of the equation?
Then he asks, will we see any Nort builds from Miles when Lantern Legacy is out? Miles?
Oh man, he's calling you out, Miles.
There will be. I am a little bit hesitant with Juice because I do want to give him a ring to make free constructs, and I won't be happy if I can't do that. So, no, I will be building with Nort because I'm just a guy with a Nort. That's just who I am.
Is that what you are? Okay.
Yeah.
And should I buy a Madam Webman this weekend? Well, if you're playing in silver, she's one of my favorite pieces, so I highly recommend you pick her up.
And honestly, the modern one is also very good. I know it's not the same one, but they're both amazing.
But Madam Webman is specifically the Beyond Amazing version, so that's definitely right. Yeah, Beyond Amazing. Yeah, so definitely pick up that one if you're asking about her. I do like the
You wanna
legacy.
Yeah, that's
one,
why
though.
I call it Madam Webman. So
Yeah.
we can differentiate it between that and the one that's modern legacy.
Then we have Illuminati. Rate my glizzies. Well, Lou, I'm not a big pickle person. Is that dill on there?
Looks like it.
I do, however,
Looks
like
like
the
he's
effort you
got,
put into him, though.
Yeah, let's break it down here a little bit. Looks like he's got some nice mustard on the one. He's got some pickles on both. Maybe a little bit of chili, some dill. You know what, Lou? 10 out of 10 glizzies.
I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Though what would have put it over the top for me is if he wouldn't have cut it if he would have just made it into a glizzy straw and was drinking inside, put it inside of a gin and tonic. Like that would have been a 10 out of 10 for me.
Oh, disgusting, Miles. On so
You
many-
know,
Yeah,
it's grill season here in Wisconsin, and one of the underrated things at the old barbecue is the glizzy cheeseburger, where you get a cheeseburger and you throw a couple glizzies on the top. Highly recommend it.
Can we at least cut them so they're a little more like manageable, or no?
No, I just
Absolutely
unhook
not.
my jaw like a snake, Dan, and just eat the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of figured that was going to be the answer, but
Yeah, there's only one way to eat a glizzy. That's just whole.
Well, then I am not that person.
You can't unhinge your jaw?
Glizzy straws.
No, not like y'all can. No.
All right, then
No
we'll go
room for
to
improvement.
Brandon Hogan. Awesome job as always seeing you and Oliver. I liked the 3-in-1 live stream. You all have great suggestions during live play, and I feel like there's a place for the live commentary. It helps the players see different ideas and strategies that others may look at. Hats off to you guys. I thought it was very cool to see how much cliX means to Oliver. I saw how emotional it was for him that the weekend was over, and that's awesome to see how much it means to him. Keep up the good work, and see y'all at Worlds. Yeah, thanks, Brandon. Oliver had a blast, and he got so sad when the weekend was over. He did get a little emotional and cry when we were talking about how we weren't going to be doing a big thing like this again until Worlds, and he realized how far away that was because he just had an absolute blast. But he, like all of us, are looking forward to Worlds now. So we will all be there, and we will see you at Worlds. And then last we have Denny Bobbledyke. Mainboard Beetlejuice taking away Outwit, Perplex, Sidestep, Terrain actions, Running Shot, Range actions, Charge, Close actions, and a lot of figures core mechanics, all for only 100 points. How can this be fixed, and should this be fixed? I will stand by this forever. Beetlejuice, both main force and sideline, is the number one worst thing in HeroClix right now. There are some close seconds with the sideline elements, but he's got to be addressed. And we've, I think, been saying this since his card was revealed, that this is going to kind of be the end for a little bit on some of the enjoyment. To the other part of it, I think the best way to nerf him is to make his effect be within a range of 4. And then sideline is even a harder call. But maybe what he chooses to damage at the end of the turn, that could change. Or what is it? The autonomous characters that can call him in, or other generated pieces, like making that standard. There's so many. There's so many ways to make him less terrible for the game.
Yes.
It's hard. I really want to know, like, where the errata team and everything, like, I would love to be like a fly on the wall and like hear like why they think that he's fine, or their arguments for why he needs to just be left alone. Like, I'd really love to hear that, because it just makes no sense.
Strange. It's so strange considering like what happened last year with Blackheart and Kong. That like Blackheart got gutted. Like, he's literally useless now, which it is what it is. But like Kong was such a nice like breath of fresh air where they made him he's still just as good. He's just not so oppressive to deal with on the defensive end. So like it's such a about face from whoever is on that team, or whoever. I don't know if that's
that Blackheart. There was just make it into a power and he would have been fine.
No, I know, and you could make it to just where he just moves 1. That's fine. Like, he goes, and then the guy that he drags with him goes. Okay, that's fine. But it's it was such a breath of fresh air to like see proactive change that like balanced the game out, and
Saved it.
Kong still won Worlds. So it's like it's not like he was a bad piece after they nerfed him.
Mhm.
So like when you take a surgical approach like that and you go, okay, well, how do we make this keep the essence of the piece, but and still keep it playable, but bring it down a notch so that way it's not oppressing the field where it's a mandatory item that you have to play, and then in other words snuffing out like the variety that is the game. So the best part of the game is like when you can have like multiple different teams, and it's not, oh look, here's the same 75 points or whatever amount of points on a build because it's just the best thing to play, and it has to be because otherwise you're shortchanging yourself basically. So
Yeah, look at Lantern Legacy and just look at how many figures just are unplayable because they can't do what you're paying the points for.
yeah,
Like, and that just like an entire set becomes like near obsolete 90% of the figures.
because they can't generate a construct because the guy's on the board that says
Or
no.
they do interesting freeze, or stuff like that. It's yeah.
And like I understand the want to rein in free actions, but I feel like there has to be a better.
Well, if you want to rein in free actions, why are you making even more free actions?
Yeah,
Like it defeats the purpose.
no, I
Like
understand.
you're we can rein in free actions. But
yeah,
we're going to give all these free actions. It's counterproductive.
No, I understand that.
Yeah,
Or
it's weird.
they can make some of these effects triggered effects instead of a free. Like I totally get that. So, but that's my thought on it. Is that it's so weird to have such a complete 180 from the team that did so well last year when something was problematic and addressed it in a very good fashion, where people weren't really sure but still showed up as being just as an amazing a piece as before. So,
Pete, what about you?
I think that you just limit main force to 4 squares. I think that's probably fine. Honestly, then if people really like him that much and they're like, man, I really need to play Michael Keaton on my teams, they can still do it. As far as the sideline, I think one of two solutions is the most reasonable. Is either you just cannot do the damage to non-standard characters, or you say the opponent gets to choose where the damage goes.
I do like that.
And I think it's still not a great piece. It's still not a great game state, but it makes the piece still be an option for people that purchase it and like it, and it lets you still play it, but it doesn't shut down everybody else's team.
I don't think anything that's not standard should be able to call him in, to be fair. So.
See, there's so many things that you can do to make this piece less toxic.
Oh, I get that. I just it's rough right now out here.
All right, let's go to the final thoughts. Miles, what do you got?
Gonna be tinkering with my 3D printer. We're finalizing pricing for our event, which is gonna be cliX Camp. So we ended up having to be a little bit more. So we're gonna be getting a post. I think it's gonna be 185 or 165 for teams. Because this way we're gonna be able to add in extra bricks for pricing, chase boosters, and to cover all the tariffs that we're gonna have to be covering. So it's still going to be a great event. It's 165. I think it's still a really good deal. Or it's going to be 65 per person, I think is what it is. Yeah, instead of 50. So we had up it by 15, but that's to get us the extra pricing and everything. Because I believe we're going to have, with 12 teams, I think that we're going to have 4 cases of pricing plus 3 to 6 chase boosters. So.
Oh, nice.
And that's going to be July 18th and 19th, which is Friday and Saturday.
Man, I can't believe that's coming up so fast already.
Yeah.
All right, are you both going out there for that, Pete? And I know Redmond, you're going out there, right?
I got to get my plane ticket still, and I don't know if it's just me or if Christine or Oliver are coming with yet. It's just a lot right now with everything we have going on between work and the other trips that we take. So I think it might end up just being me. Or me and Oliver. Pete, were you?
Unfortunately, I can't swing it. No, I'm pretty much local until Worlds.
Okay.
So that's just unfortunately the way that the summer kind of rolled out.
Miles, did you have anything else?
Nope. Yeah, and I'm just messing with my 3D printer. Gonna I'm working on getting the Bookwood Awards.
Those sound terrible.
Yes.
So if anyone's like really good with Blender to make like designs and anything, please hit me up and help me because
Oh,
I
Blender
don't know
is
it at all and I'm just winging it.
oh Blender is so
So-
good. Yeah, if you're talking about like 3D rendering on Blender, like it's
Yeah.
so good. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've never really had a reason to really use it because like that program didn't exist when I was in school, and just my everything that I did for work, like there's just no reason for me to do it. So yeah, just jumping right into it. So
What about you, Dan? Final thoughts?
I haven't played cliX in, I'd say, like a little over a month at the very least. So I am very excited for the monthly, and I'm going to try to be making it down to Kenosha on a more frequent basis.
Nice. Pete?
I'm very much looking forward to the monthly, and I should probably figure out what I'm playing, considering it's coming up this weekend. I just wanted to give a very big thank you and shout out to Dial H, HeroClick USA, and D-Generation Clicks for excellent coverage of Origins. Even though I didn't get to go, I felt like I knew what was going on, and I really, really, really enjoyed the coverage. Great job, everyone.
Thank you.
Good stuff, everybody.
I had a blast working with Calder and Alec. I really hope we can run that back again. I'm excited for the monthly game on Sunday. Don't forget to check it out on YouTube. Excited to prep for our Champion Clicks Open Regional coming up that we mentioned earlier today. And yeah, really can't wait for Worlds now that that's the next big event. And remember...
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!
Cause I'm so